other words, it should... Oh, hi.
Nobody ever stopped talking. It's hilarious. Welcome to session 12, the season finale of our Sea Dogs GURPS campaign. I am Gigerman, today's GM.
Hello, everybody.
Wee! Monkey come.
So, does anybody have any business to attend to before we get going?
I think I mentioned offline that I did screw up with the language slightly for Latin, and I didn't have it spoken. I had it written, but I didn't spend any for spoken, so I fixed that.
Right. So, not buying more hit points for Rogers.
No, that'd be cheating.
I have 4 points. I think I may spend it in a skill.
I'm thinking the same. I just don't know which yet.
If I had 4 points, I would spend it in surgery, but I don't. I've only got 1.
It's only one skill, correct? I can't go 2 and 2 and raise 2 skills by 1.
There's not a solid rule on that. My only rule has been not more than 1 level.
Okay.
In a session.
Are they
It should be
skills
possible
you've practiced?
It was going to be axe mace, which would cost me 2 points, and then guns pistol for another 2.
Well,
I think you
you've
did
been doing
use
a lot
them
of
both.
axe macing and gun pistoling, so that seems reasonable to me.
Actually,
Okay.
have not been doing a lot of that, but he did do some of that.
Oh.
And then there's weirdos like me who do something like that.
Ah.
Wonder how many skills you have not used.
A bunch.
I try to put an asterisk on the ones that I use and then remove it if I improve the skill.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to keep up with.
Well, let's see. I don't have any background stuff we need to take care of, so I guess...
Yay?
Oops. Hit the wrong button.
I will increase my guns pistol.
Damn it! You were too slow. I already put the date up.
Too bad, I've already half edited it.
Weird combat monkeys.
What did Boom do this time?
Harbor log. Monday, February 5th, 1725. Nassau, New Providence. It's clear and pleasant with a fresh northeast breeze. Having just rescued the merchant's daughter from a gang of ruffians, the expedition finds 2 of their number have been shot in the process.
Don't!
You're supposed to avoid those bullets.
I want to go for a walk.
I'm getting better.
So, we are in the warehouse, and the smoke is clearing away as Rogers and Mr. Bold sort of collapse a little, having been shot.
Oh no, the sign of blood! What do we do?
You're the doctor. You're supposed to fix it.
Yes, well, I'm not going to fix it here. That seems like a terrible idea.
So to catch everybody up, here is the butcher's bill. On the friendly side, we've got 2 shot, Rogers and Bold. Lila, who you have rescued, has some superficial injuries. She was roughed up a bit, but is otherwise intact and a bit angry.
Okay, so his first action, which he was
Stand by.
Spencer.
I'm not done yet. Mr. Adler will enter from outside. He having deposited the leader of the gang, and he will catch up to Spencer and inform him that, by the way, I have received an injury on my neck that could probably use some stitches. Other than friendlies, we've got 1 pirate that escaped out the window. We have 5 of them that are conscious, and I believe 1 of them was not injured.
There's
Yes.
at least 1 that's DRT.
We have 4 unconscious bad guys, all of which have been stabbed and or thrown about very roughly.
Or shot.
You're welcome.
The ones that are shot are in the are actually still conscious.
I thought Davino shot one with his big boom. And
Well,
said,
I'm not
"Oh,
done
yeah.
yet. I haven't
Hurry
got
up.
to the dead ones. The dead enemies, we have one, and his head's hanging off almost. Made a mess of that one.
Strong work.
All right. So as the smoke is clearing, you guys can see that there's a bit of a group of onlookers starting to gather outside from across the street and whatnot.
Right.
Now, medical attention.
Yes, that's the first thing that Spencer's already heading towards Rogers when the shooting finally stopped, because he was going to do the first aiding.
All right. In both cases, you can see the location of the bullets is in a somewhat less dangerous area of the torso, and your immediate inspection will tell you that there is no exit wound. You can make the first aid roll for them both. That will be at a -2 for the size of the wound, and you could conceivably get help with that, but I don't think you need it. That is a success on both, so they both get 1 hit point back, which will put them both at 1. Now, after that, you can treat them for shock. That restores the 1d -2 and takes 30 minutes. They can both be done at the same time. Also, if you're going to treat Mr. Adler, you can do a bandaging roll for him. His is no penalty.
Ooh, wow.
Good God, man.
Jesus.
He's not bleeding like a normal person.
He gets no hit points back, apparently.
And he's still bleeding.
Clearly, I am more focused on the people who are actually injured.
All right, so the shock treatments, not shock treatments.
Right, 1d -2.
You still need to make the roll, don't you? Or do you?
I don't think so. I thought that was just included.
Now that I say that.
You do need to make the roll.
Treating shock after bandaging, yada yada. Okay. On a success, the medic rolls as indicated on the table. Yeah.
That's okay. Is this also including the -2?
I don't think so.
Fine rolls.
All right.
right.
So the first one, I guess, is probably at Rogers. Let's see if I can not roll utter crap on the D6. Well, that's not utter crap.
One better.
Right. Yeah. So he's regained a total of 2.
Okay. That puts me at 3.
No, that puts you at 2.
Oh, I was at 1 from the first aid.
They're not cumulative.
Oh, understood.
And
How about
then for bold, nope.
Of course. Well, he gets to keep the 1. All right. Well, they are both still in no danger of falling unconscious and are basically ambulatory, although they're still below a third.
Is there any need to worry about Adler bleeding out?
No, his injury is pretty minor, and more than likely he'll heal on his own if he keeps some pressure on it. They could probably use some stitches, but we can do that later.
I will probably go over the injured piratical types as well to see how many of them are potentially savable.
So you do a quick triage. While you're doing those treatments, and while Rogers and Bold are sort of resting, getting their 30 minutes in, some of the onlookers from outside are actually entering and trying to help out a little. So you've got some assistance.
Have you a doctor here?
Unfortunately.
As far as your triage goes, you've got 1,
Well, I don't think I can do anything for that fellow.
You got 3 of them that were stabbed in the torso. I think one of them was abdomen. That was the gut shot guy at the end. One guy shot in the leg.
Gonna have to take that leg off.
And I believe a couple of guys were actually stabbed in the leg. So
Better sharpen up my saw.
Probably the worst off would be the one that got the sword in the gut. Although technically that wasn't vitals, so it was not through anything that he can't live without, apparently.
Wondering if I think Hayden should probably coordinate with Adler to see if this town has any law enforcement or whatever to maybe hopefully not throw us in jail for straight up murdering a guy.
Well, you know that they have a governor, and you know that they have a fort. And that probably is the law enforcement.
And this place was English, yeah?
Yes. It is now, anyway. It was sort of unaffiliated before. While the medical stuff is going on, you will observe Adler goes over to Lila and tells her that her father is safe at the Fishing Bucket.
Fishing Bucket.
That would be the tavern you guys met him at. And Lila, who is still somewhat angry, and she picks up a broom and starts sweeping, smacking one of the guys in the head, and says she's trying to clean the filth off the floor. At which Red approaches her with a shovel and said, "You might need something a little bigger to pry it off."
Red was with us. We lost track of him.
He was kind of hiding. He was rather less than heroic. But now he's talking to Lila about getting some sand from outside. Can throw that on the blood and maybe it'll soak it up a little bit, help clean it. And he starts looking around for a bucket.
He's shoehorning in on Randall's territory.
Well, it depends. Is she cute?
You know, I never actually decided that.
I mean, I would
not
still
that
save
stopped
woman.
him.
Yeah, it won't stop me from saving.
So is anybody doing anything specifically in the immediate term, like in the first 15 minutes or so, aside from Spencer, who is busy being medical? Roger, weapons. Oh, you guys were doing some back and forth about the canister thing. You forgot about the buck and ball, which probably should be your go-to rounds.
Oh, yeah, I only have the canister, the slug, and the full shotgun blast.
Canister and shot are exactly the same thing.
Oh, maybe that's what this is then. I just have it descripted as the canister, but it might be what you're talking about.
That
or
may be because it would be 3. I think we did determine it was going to be 3 rounds.
Okay, then I'll relabel the canister as buck and ball since that'd be more accurate.
Let's see. Oh, that's 1 times 32. That's not buck and ball. Yeah, you never put the buck and ball on there.
Okay, if that was intended to be the 3 shot out of a single charge, then I do have that on the sheet already.
Okay. Anywho, yeah. So you'll gather up those weapons. Nothing noteworthy there.
Dang it! People just don't have appreciation for fine art these days.
There is one of the onlookers, an older woman, who says that you can take your guys to her place. She has a couple of free beds there, and you can do what you need to do over there. She also says that she's got some medical experience, so she can help.
Excellent. Clearly these piratical types were not, they weren't looked on kindly, were they? Because it's like everybody's like, we don't care what happens to them.
Well, you get the impression from the people around that they didn't much care for these guys and actually did know who they were. Adler says he will also be there to help once they get situated here.
So maybe send word to the fort.
Well, speaking of that,
Heal these fellas up so they can be hung properly.
hanged. Yeah, not too far in, a group of soldiers comes approaching the warehouse in somewhat of a hurry, having clearly heard gunshots. And
No, that's not true. They heard Davino's gun go off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
there were multiple guns fired.
Yeah,
one of
but
which
they heard
was a bit
Davino's
more.
gun. So, like, is there a cannon on the ground?
And so he shows up. So the soldiers show up, led by Captain, and he's all, "What's all this then?" And he starts to take charge of the situation.
No time to talk. I have medical or patients that need attention.
And he starts canvassing the crowd, etc., about what happened there. And most of the onlookers will say that they knew that gang had hit the warehouse, and these guys showed up and took care of it. And the captain seems satisfied with that basic understanding and says that, or tells his crew there to take the lot of them for a stay at the Ne'er-do-Well Hotel, courtesy of His Majesty. And then he sends a couple of his guys to go fetch a cart.
Freaking George.
That was frighteningly easy.
Now, he did come around to you guys as well, asking what happened. I'm presuming you don't have anything to add.
I answered him in Greek because I wasn't paying attention.
You did confuse him momentarily. Now, they clearly know Lila, and the captain went to her specifically and asked if she was all right and where her dad is, and asked if they took anything.
It took some lead.
That was a gift.
And Damascus steel.
And if nobody's doing anything else in particular, we will get to the quote-unquote interesting part.
Oh, boy.
So, the old lady takes you guys across the street. She's got a bedroom that has a couple of spots in there that you can work.
Thank you kindly, madam. I'm Spencer, Article Spencer.
And let's see, you did not bring your surgery kit, so you're gonna have to go fetch that.
I'm gonna send Red running to get. No, I can't. I have to go get it because I'm OCD about that. Don't touch that.
All right. Well, the patients are stable, so you're not in a huge hurry.
For the king.
Yep. So I have to at least do what we can for sterilization purposes, and then
You're gonna sterilize him?
Yep. It's for the best.
Hold up.
I didn't agree to this.
But yeah, then get the medical stuff I have.
By the time Spencer comes back with his medical chest, the bad guys will have been gathered up and carted off to the fort. And you guys are basically left to manage your own affairs at this point. So Rogers is tied up at the moment. Not literally. What are the rest of you doing? Are you going to be hanging around to help, or you got something else
I
in
need
mind?
Davino's strength to hold some people down. If the hypnotism doesn't work.
That's fine. I was intending to stay anyway to try to learn some
I
first
hope he
aid.
has a strong stomach.
Yes.
This is
Boom
a
does
good
not,
day
though.
to learn about doctoring, that's for sure.
Hayden will stay out of the doctor's way, but still hang around in case he's needed.
For some reason, I can I totally sort of envision almost the entire crew ending up here, sort of trying to peek in to watch, except for like one person stuck back on the boat going, "I wanted to watch."
Well, would they actually know?
Well, I went back to get the
That's
medical
true, you
chest.
did. Yeah, they're
In
gonna
fact,
know.
I probably would have enlisted somebody relatively stronger than me to carry this stupid thing.
That is also true. So, yeah, at least anybody who was at the ship will know. So, yeah, they're all gonna come over here and support and go find the ones that weren't there. So eventually, you'll have the house full of guys.
Okay, so I am presuming I need to do diagnosis checks for both of them. Because surgery has the undiagnosed problems is a -5. I'd like to avoid that.
I'm gonna
what the
make a
problem is.
command decision here and say that the diagnosis is pretty bloody obvious.
Okay.
So there
that's
won't be any
-4
penalties
for the
associated with
surgery
that.
basic equipment. Does the head or chest surgery basic 223 still apply?
Okay, stand by. Let's see. This actually mentioned the hypnotism cell.
Oh,
Okay.
right. I got hit the hypnotism thing.
I am assuming that you were going to do that. So let's see. So normally you've got no anesthetic. You can get the +1 if they're tipsy, or +2 if they're drunk, hypnotized, or drugged with sedatives. But that is to their will roll to hold still.
Where is this?
Okay, this is in Low Tech Companion 1.
Oh, that's why I'm not seeing that. I'm not looking there. Okay, so it requires 5 seconds for hypnotism. I've only got a 12, so
5 seconds.
The first attempt. Second attempt takes 5 minutes and is at -5. It's going to take longer because I am going to take longer time because I've only got a 12 in it.
Yeah, if you don't have any, if you don't have a time constraint there, you can take as long as you like. What's 30 times 5 seconds?
Couple minutes.
Okay, so to get that part out of the way, I will let you do the hypnotism rolls for both.
2.5 minutes to be precise.
And I am presuming that you're not doing them at the same time. They're in sequence. I don't know which one you would consider to be worse off.
I don't know either. It's going to depend on what their level of injury is. Yeah, their condition.
Yeah, level of consciousness, condition.
Okay, so they are going to need a will roll to stay still. They will get +2 on that for being hypnotized.
Wait, no, they have to make a... Don't they have to make a successful... No, I guess not. That's weird.
I don't know what you were thinking.
Jesus, tried to fail.
All right. Oh, and we need chat to roll for Mr. Bold.
Don't you let Mr. Bold die.
Now, if this roll were to fail, somebody can still hold you down. And in fact, that may stay.
That's what Davino is there for.
Which is what Davino's there for.
And these are sequential operations, not simultaneous. Obviously.
Right.
Chat room want to make a roll.
Okay, now how did that go? Okay. So success by 4+ allows the patient to remain completely still. So you're going to be making small involuntary movements.
Okay.
Okay, and you didn't fail, so we don't need to hold you down.
Well, I suspect Davino is probably still there. Not like holding him down necessarily, but like
just there, just in case.
There.
Oh, do I get any
observing.
bonus from my British stiff upper lip?
Well,
User disconnected from your
it wouldn't
channel.
help.
What just happened?
Okay.
Did something happen?
User joined your channel.
Did we lose
Mark
Mark?
quit and then came back.
Well, that kind of a douchey thing to do.
I was clicking wrong buttons.
All right, so
I've heard that.
That means I believe that penalty is going to be -1 to the surgery roll for that. Now, don't roll that yet.
No, what is this penalty?
So that's for the small involuntary movements. All right, and let's see. Still waiting on that one, but we can get to that in a bit. I think the penalties are probably going to end up being pretty much the same. So, I am not going to count Davino as an actual assistant here, but the widows whose house you are in will count, and Adler will also count. So you have at least 2 assistants.
Okay. What is their level of skill?
I don't see that is relevant.
Actually, it is. If I can find that, I think it was in biotech. It said if they have 15 or higher, it's a +2 instead of a +1.
Okay, neither of them are going to be that high.
So that's
Yeah,
gonna
she's
be
not a
+2.
doctor. Neither of them are a doctor. They're just somewhat trained in medical. All right, so we have currently -3 for
+1.
-3 for non-sterile, -2 for no anesthesia.
Like I said, at least try to do a cursory sterilization.
This is not a place that you can sterilize. I mean, you're going to do the best you can, but it's not dirty.
So -3 for unsterilized, +2 for assistants, -1 because Rogers is squirming around.
So I think that puts us in -5, -6, -4.
-2.
-2.
Said -3 for the unsterilized, +2
anesthesia.
for the what?
No anesthesia.
That's what the hypnotism counts as.
Now we've got 2 different rule sets going here. I'm using the one out of low tech.
Which low tech book are you looking at? What page?
Low tech companion 124, 25. Right. So, and you didn't have any actual bonuses to the equipment?
No, I couldn't afford it.
Okay.
General -2. Actually, we got that opium. We can steal some of Hayden's opium.
Well, I don't think you need it, since you've got the hypnotism. Did we get a roll? We didn't get a roll yet.
No, that's because I was calculating. So
I'm
not
that yet.
I'm not having to suffer from the head or chest surgery.
I am not counting that. This is
That's
non-vitals.
good
So,
because
and that was how I treated that first session where you worked on the duel. I said that didn't count, so this won't count either. So, if I am not mistaken, we are still going to be at -4. And as I said before, you're doing damage regardless, so the failure is not going to necessarily, well, not kill you, but whatever. So,
Well, it won't kill him. He's the surgeon.
yeah, exactly. Surgery -4 currently. Is there anything else you think you can squeeze out of that? And
Now,
I'm looking.
wasn't there a -5 that is avoided by doing battlefield expedient surgery?
No, that was if you don't have physician, then it's -5 to do anything but field expedient surgery.
damn.
Okay.
So it didn't count anyway.
Captain Button rolled a 5 for the wheelchair.
Holy God.
For Bold. He's like, I got this.
Way to
Okay,
go,
well,
Captain Button.
you're gonna get a -3 for Bold instead of -4 for starters. All right, so other stuff we got here.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Spencer has 1 personal planning point left, and although I don't think you could just upgrade your entire tool set, you might be able to upgrade like part of it.
Well, if there's some kind of
I would
you know,
absolutely do.
critical failure and complication, couldn't he use a planning roll to have pre-prepared for such an emergency?
I'm trying to think of how that would work. I would like for that to work. That would be nice if we can figure out how he planned for it.
Well, he knows what he's going to cut near. I mean, anatomy is not a mystery at this point
Well,
in science. It's just
And bullet wounds are fairly common. It's entirely possible he could have studied up on this sort of thing. So I'm not against it at this point.
yeah,
But,
and the circulatory system is very well known by this point
Well,
too. So
I
he
was-
might know what
I-
arteries and veins he's near.
If I could upgrade the surge, the something like that, well, how would that work? That wouldn't work because he couldn't have good quality. Can't afford that.
well, like I said, it would only be like one instrument, and just saying that, trying to take the time to dig around and figure out which one to upgrade would be kind of a pain.
Besides, I have luck. Just roll it.
Now he does have luck, so that's a thing. And also, Rogers has 3 planning points that he hasn't used. So there's
Well,
the
I have
possibility that
overconfidence,
one's.
and I had no idea that I could actually be shot.
Well, you could. We'll
Well,
see
I
how
guess
that goes.
I'll make the roll and see if it matters.
And oh, you
Hey,
went and did it. God
What?
damn it! I wanted you to roll that in the box.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Eh,
A shout out to From Java or Yava, who just followed us stream.
Oh,
And I wasn't-
that's my brother.
And I
Well,
wasn't done yet.
Shout out to him. Anyway,
You guys also have some bennies. Roger's got 1 benny. Spencer's got 2. And since he is rolling in secret, you can just say that you can say you want to use them as needed or otherwise. The other thing is you could also save those bennies and or plot points for the damage roll.
I intend to use my luck on the surgery itself, and since I already saw the roll outside the box, I don't feel great about that, but I'm gonna go with it.
How do I want to do that? Well, you're doing it on you. Honestly, I would probably save that for the damage roll because that's going to be worse.
Huh. Okay. I mean, you're the GM. I accept your advice.
So, having made the roll, do you want to spend bennies on it?
Let's see. How did your pennies work again? I don't remember. It's
It's
been so
just a
long since
plus.
we used them.
It's just a +1.
Yeah, I've got 2. I'm going to spend 1 on him and 1 on Bold.
All right.
Yeah, honestly, we need Bold just as much. He's one of our able seamen.
Plus, he's
All right.
Idris Elba.
Go ahead and make the roll for Bold. You're at -3 on him instead of 4.
Also in the box.
Also in the box.
Sorry, I had to adjust my modifiers.
No, yeah.
So, should I count my luck as being used at 1759, or?
Well, we're about to deal with the damage.
Okay.
So, damage is automatic. Where did I put that? Okay, so it always inflicts injuries. 3d6 hit points.
Ow.
Jesus.
A successful
Not amputating?
a successful surgery roll. Yeah, that's for torso. Amputating is only 2d. A successful surgery roll means one of the dice counts as an automatic 1, and critical success reduces injury to just a point per die.
Sadly, I suspect I did not get the critical success.
Okay,
So-
I need to make some notes. So you can make. Let's just just go ahead and roll the raw 3d6 for both of them in the.
Well done.
And roll
If
that
you're-
in the
if you're-
box.
Damn it. You need to speak faster.
Well, you need to
User
roll
left your
slower.
channel.
That actually could not have gone any better, I think. Okay, let me make a couple of notes.
So luck used 1800. Got it.
Actually, so if you're going to use the luck, then go ahead and have Phil roll
2 more.
2 more.
Oh, I thought it couldn't have gone better was with the luck.
Well, that is still true.
Luck wasted, 1800.
What is Rogers talking about? Is he delirious?
That's
all right.
75 years from now. What is he on about?
So that's that and that. That means... Okay. Where am I going to put that? Got to record this. And Rogers. And that's going to mean that. Okay, so afterward, you have to do the bandaging again to stop the new bleeding.
So that's just another first aid check?
That's just another first aid check. No penalty on that, and that's fine if you can roll that open. Wow. At least you're good at that. What was the base time on that? It's like an hour.
Think so. That's what surgery normally was.
Oh, I thought you meant first aid. First aid's 30 minutes.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, it depends, but okay, so... All right. Let's see if there's anything else here I need to cover.
So neither one of them died under my knife.
Maybe next
Okay.
week.
And Spencer used Benny's. Rogers
User
did
joined your
not, but he
channel.
did use his luck. Okay, so you started on Rogers, and you hypnotized him, and that seemed to calm him down considerably, and he was mostly able to keep still. Palange was standing over him, ready to bop him on the head if need be, jog his memory. And you start digging in there, and really, it looked like it wasn't that obstructed, really, so it didn't give you that much grief trying to get it out. The bullet, that is. And the bleeding wasn't that bad. So all in all, you'd have to say that one went pretty well. And then you start on
was
Mr.
nothing
Bold.
like Tahiti.
And Bold, the damn bullet practically came out on its own.
We turned him sideways and shook him.
Yeah, basically. And so also bleeding was not all that bad. So basically, that was probably the easiest surgery you've had in a long time, especially going into the torso like that. So you're feeling pretty good about their recovery chances.
And I will make sure everyone knows. Yes, I think they'll be fine. As long as
Now,
they stay off their feet for a while.
they are, as far as their recovery goes from here, it's hard to say how long that will take, but you'd probably guess they're going to be down for a week at least.
I'm going to pass that on to Captain Hayden and Sir Randall.
Now, they'll get most of their function, probably half that, but to be safest, best to wait longer, obviously. Now, when it comes to that I'm also assuming that Spencer is going to be
Yep.
caring for them throughout that period using physician, or whatever it is that he's got. And
He's got physician.
I couldn't remember if he had physician or was it esoteric medicine.
Think he's got physician, not esoteric.
I know we went back and forth
I think
on that.
we've gone back and forth. Officially, according to Raw, it said at TL4 and below it doesn't exist, and it's esoteric medicine. But you said we were on that border to the cusp to go ahead and go with physician.
So I am assuming that, and basically what's going to happen is every day they're going to make a health roll to recover a hit point, and the physician will get his own roll to help them every 3 days. That will get them another hit point. Now, those rolls will be at a penalty if you guys are underway at the time. Those rolls are assuming that they are in bed rest and getting decent food.
Well, that's going to be my strong suggestion to both Sir Randall and Captain Hayden.
Now, the two of them also need to make one other roll, and that is
Oh,
going to be
dear.
health +3.
Ah,
And you can make that in the
infection.
box. You can make that in the box as well.
How are you going
Hmm.
to do that for
Yeah, I
Bold?
was just thinking.
Have somebody
Chat,
else roll
chat
for it.
can't roll in the box. Okay, chat's gonna make a roll for bold, but don't look.
Nice.
In which case, how do we know it actually happened?
Well, I'm
Avert
looking.
your eyes.
We are averting our eyes, oh Lord.
Well, stop it.
It's like those psalms.
Bloody songs just go on and on.
And for anyone that doesn't know what that was,
Shame on you.
the roll, not the joke. That is for
infection.
that is for infection. So, at any rate,
Well, that doesn't really need to be a secret roll, because you'll know straight away whether your wound is infected.
not like
Well,
within the first hour.
Also,
It can take a while.
the infection itself is inevitable without sterilization. It's a matter of your survival of it.
Well, yeah. Hence the health roll. Yeah, so a couple hours later, you're done with the surgery. You're not even all that bloody, honestly.
Somewhat disappointed.
All right, I need to make some notes here. All right. So you guys, at some point, you guys are wrap up the surgery and take a step out for some fresh air. Let everybody, all the crews, all gathered up around the house, and let them all know it looks like they're going to pull through.
T.
Who has the hurdy-gurdy?
That's Ollie.
I'm going to request David Bowie's Heroes to be played on the hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, I wonder. I want to find that now.
What?
It's probably been done.
It probably has been done.
Probably has its own subreddit.
While you guys stepped out for air, excepting Rogers, Adler sort of lagged behind a little bit. And when everybody stepped out of the room, Rogers, Adler comes over to you with a cup of water and something else and says, "Here, swallow this."
And what is it that he has?
It is a pill. He says it's Chinese medicine.
Oh, well, that sounds legit. I've been in that part of the world.
Fight off gangrene.
Yep, I'll take it. Could I get some tea, mate?
Yeah, it tastes pretty rank. And then he does the same for Bold. And then he will go outside and join everybody else.
I hope that doesn't mean they're going to spontaneously explode.
Well, who knows?
Superpowers.
Yeah,
I
give me superpowers.
I suspect time travel. And he just gave us a massive dose of antibiotics.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Yep.
So, you guys are outside the house, and Adler comes out and basically sits down on the steps, and he has that letter with him, and he starts burning it. And so there's a story here that early in his pirate days, Jack Rackham accidentally, or maybe not, depending on who's telling, dropped a bag of black pearls offshore worth about 5,000 pesos. 200
Randall's
each.
like,
Some time back, I learned that a merchant here in Nassau, you met Mr. Finley, had come across a black pearl in the surf. So I came here to see if I could buy it from him. Now, black pearls are from Tahiti. They're not from around here, so he's not
Thought
going
it
to
was a
find one
ship.
here by accident. I know nothing of that. So we met up at the Fish and Bucket that night, and I don't think Finley realized what he had, and he was a little drunk. And he was a little bit louder than he probably should have been. So he rolled that golden apple right into the middle of the room. Next day, I told Finley and Lila that if anyone came asking, tell them that he found a sack buried at this particular location down the beach. And I figured it didn't look like it was going to amount to much until these jackholes showed up. Lila said they were asking after the pearls. None of these guys were at the tavern that night. Somebody sent them. Now, Fenley put up a good fight, maybe more than he probably should have. But according to Lila, he did give up the location like I told him. So here's the deal now. The jackhole that escaped is going to go find his boss. We need to watch the location and see who comes sniffing around for the pearls. Whoever it was that hired a bunch of thugs to beat up an old man and a woman is probably not the sharing type, so I'd expect them to come for it personally. Either way, we find out who it is, and maybe we can put a stop to any future reprisals against Finley and Lila.
Sounds good.
Unfortunately, I won't be here to do this myself. I'm expecting the soldiers to come back for me shortly.
Why?
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
eyebrow raise?
don't worry about me, though. I will be fine. But you probably won't see me again afterward. So I will be leaving the Finley's fate in your hands.
Find out that this dude got
Time travel.
decapitated.
If this is the case, then good journey to you all.
Yeah. Thank you for your assistance.
And he goes about, he clears up what was the name of the ship? Graceful Dame, you said? And where was it registered? Kingston? And
Yep, Carrie's totally right. He's jumping forward to the future to see what the fate of the boat is. And I come back and go, don't get back on that ship.
And let's see. And then he asked, Atwell, and you said he gave you the letter at Barbados? No, it was St. Kitts. No, it was Barbados, wasn't it?
I don't remember. You're the GM. You should remember that.
Well, we better get it right, or it's going to be a whole different timeline. We'll have to start over.
Let me see. Oh, that's funny. You guys don't have it on the on the log. Well, whichever it was, he gets it cleared up. And yeah, just about like he said, here come the soldiers again. Said, "You there, Mr. Adler, is it? You come with us. You are hereby under arrest." And
Can we
Adler,
ask what the charges are? Simple curiosity.
I haven't decided yet. Come on then. And he marches him off. And Adler will turn back and give you a little hat tip, and they head off in the direction of the fort.
That was odd.
We do seem to come across some rather interesting fellows of late, haven't we, Mr. Spencer?
I know, right? I was thinking of once I bought off Absent-Minded, replace it with Weirdness Magnet, but it seems like we already have a Weirdness Magnet.
I wonder if I
No.
should, if this treasure hunting never pans out, I might go into authoring stories.
Wow. Okay. Spencer being a smart cookie and having seen this earlier, he will remember that Mr. Atwell did in fact have a bandage on his neck.
Huh. Now, how do I bring that up without... No, he's not even going to mention it. Instead, he's going to find a couple shillings at his feet or something.
Oh, shiny. All right. Well, it is getting into the afternoon. Business ashore. I know that Randall had a meeting with a prospect to buy the grain that you guys have.
Yeah, I would have normally have accompanied him, but I'm going to be probably, it's right after the surgery, so.
True.
He's got this.
Hayden had started canvassing around looking for Thomas Friendly, and he can continue that. What about anybody else? what did we actually have you guys down for?
That was Barbados, by the way.
Was it? Yeah, I thought that was right.
Yeah, it was in episode 7 at the tail end. It's
Let's
right after we
see.
met with the spider lady.
So we can move him there probably. What was Divino doing? He was trying to find the guild or something.
I was looking for interesting weapons. None were around, and so I was
Right.
just trying to find work.
Okay. And Rogers, I guess, is healing as well. All right. So is Hayden going back to his canvassing, or is he going to hang out?
He will go back to his canvassing.
Okay. And Divino is going to continue to look for work. I seem to recall he did not find anything at the time.
I
So
believe that was the case.
to go down the list, Payne, you have an actual price roll and then a merchant roll when you meet up with your contact.
Price roll, and that's reaction basic roll, right?
No, I actually had a table for that.
Oh, table, the time.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I got tired of having to figure it out.
Let's see, where is it?
There.
Being able to have tables is awesome.
Oh, it's actually at the very top. Actual price. I'm scrolling down for price, not actual price. Is that a good roll or a bad roll? I don't know.
Well, you're selling at this point, so that I think is better than what you bought it for, but not by much. So now you can roll your merchant, and you won't have Spencer there to help you, so you're kind of on your own finally. Although you could do you can get assistance on that though.
Yep,
For
I'm
example,
going to
you can use
carouse this
carousing
guy.
to do that. That'll get you the +2,
Totally going
which you will succeed. Wow, good job.
Good roll.
All right, so you purchased that ton of grain for 400. This guy will buy it for 5,
Hey, I can dig it.
and I'm going to mark that down. All right, a little bit more profit, a little bit at a time. That is Payne. Hayden, you can make a, oddly enough, IQ +7 roll to find somebody in town who knows where Friendly went.
And this is when he rolls an 18.
Oh my fucking god.
I was joking.
My gosh.
Oh my god,
Straight
Spencer really does have that power.
Straight up 18.
That's right.
That is hilarious.
Well, you don't find anybody today.
Not ever. In fact, you find somebody who tells you the entirely wrong direction.
Fortunately, you can make that roll every day, so you can actually try again tomorrow. But wow.
Clearly, the warehouse incident has, distracted Hayden.
Indeed. So Palange, looking for work, I actually had been doing that slightly wrong before. So at this point, you can make 1 roll per week, and it's IQ -2 in this case.
Okay.
And what job are you looking for? What status level? Actually, let me back up. There's a penalty to find a job based on the status level of that job. There's also a penalty if you're looking for more than one job at once. So you
Okay.
can look for multiple kinds of jobs.
Probably looking for some sort of weaponsmithy, whether it's repairing guns or cannon or what.
Mhm.
Something
Okay,
something in that.
So I'm going to presume that that trades level is going to be status 1. In which case, that'll be at an additional -2. So that puts you at a total of IQ -4.
That's a nope.
That's a nope. All right. So for a week, you are unable to locate any sort of.
So we did get the. Everybody did decide, we are going to remain here for a week.
I'm
Yes.
getting
Well,
to that question again, but actually, that is next. So
Are the hit
How
points
long
for
do you want
PCs
to
correct?
wait? I have not updated them, so you don't know exactly how long it's going to take.
Would a diagnosis roll from the doctor give us an indication?
Like he said, it's probably going to be a week. Could be longer.
No one's ever lived this long before.
So other than that, that's about as much as he can tell you.
Well, we're in no hurry, so I think we should stay as long as it takes for everyone to be up on their feet and raring
And
to
that'll
go.
probably, I'm thinking that'll probably give us enough time to go, God, we are sick of the land again. Let's get back on the ocean.
Okay, so when you say back on your feet, do you mean over 1/3, or do you mean completely topped off?
Over a half, I'd say.
No longer half move and dodge, I would think.
No
Alright.
longer half move and dodge, and a little bit more than that, so maybe half hit points.
Now, metagame, you know that's probably going to take, well, it would take 6 days for 6 hit points, and then that's maybe more like 4. No, 5, with the physician help in there. They might need more than that. They might need less than that, but that's sort of, that'll be in your head as to basically how long you're expecting. But the characters don't know that.
Well,
So you
we
will
will
expect to be
stay.
here probably about a week.
We will stay until such time as all our injured are above half hit points.
All right.
So the
And
GM can tell us when that is.
and I am about to figure that out. You know, I think what I will do.
Well, you'd have to do it on a day-by-day basis because you need health rolls every day.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, we'll roll them out. We'll roll them out. So I won't deal with that ahead of time. But yeah, you know what to expect at this point. All right. So, and you're gonna stay here till they get to half, and then get on the boat to go somewhere else. That means purchasing provisions won't need to be done until several days from now. And anybody doing searches for things can take extra time for it.
Does the job role I took occupy my full week, or is that just a to check for the week?
I don't actually know that, but since you can search for more than one job, I'm going to presume you could try something else at the -1.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was actually going to take time to repair that dagger pistol that we picked up.
True, you do that. Do you actually have gunsmithing tools? I know you have like a cleaning kit or something at least.
I have a portable
No,
armory
you had
toolkit.
the armory kit. Yeah, you got everything you need. At least the basics anyway. All right, so aside from those things that you're doing for the day, for the rest of this day, you've also got the dig site, the pearls to deal with. What are you planning to do with that?
This was like other games. I'd be like booby trapping the approaches and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
We need a map so Mark can draw arrows.
Mark will have to restrain himself.
Oh, I'm rage quitting now.
But if you guys are going to start taking watches on the area or something like that, let's figure out what you're going to do with it.
Well, watches is a good idea. It's more important, more to see who's watching the place, kind of thing. Because if they're planning on, they may be staking it out, or they may send someone to stake it out as well, kind of thing.
I did not actually specify this before, but it is outside of town, kind of remote, but not that far. A bit further down the coast, and it is on the water, kind of like you see there in the picture. It's rocky.
Now, are they more likely to come by raft or boat or across the land? Because if they come across the land, then booby traps is back in the.
Well, with boats, you've got surf to deal with as well, so I don't know. I mean, it would be faster to go by boat, but you don't really know anything.
Anyone want to dig some pits and trap them?
Yeah, it'd be about right. You go out there and start digging a pit trap, and somebody shows up looking for whatever it is while you're digging.
Well, we don't want to scare them off.
Yeah, you don't exactly have a timetable here, so.
I think the easiest is just going to be lie in wait.
Yeah, but who lies in wait when?
What's the signal? Or how do we signal everyone else?
Who's the sneakiest amongst us?
Claude.
That's a good question. That's true. Well, Claude would be.
Yeah, but
Claude is remarkably less sneaky now that there's the soul has been ripped out of him. But he could probably still do it. But then he might get kidnapped or something. All right. Well, we need to come up with something.
Well, how far out of town is this? Like, how long would it take us to get there if, like, they show up in mass? Only one of us is sitting there watching.
I don't know, a mile maybe. Not that far. Just far enough it's out of sight.
Does anyone have Gizmo? And Gizmo or a two-way radio?
Nope. You do have planning points, though. Some of you. But that won't get you a radio.
I wonder if we could rig a... I mean, yeah, I'm thinking not like Claymore, but some kind of, like, explosive that goes off and, you know, makes a loud noise that we could hear from a distance.
I think the closest thing you could potentially pull that off with is to use a flintlock or something like that.
Second it rains, though, or every morning we'd have to go back and reset it.
Yeah.
But that might be slightly more doable.
Yeah, but after that, what do you do when it goes off?
We make haste over there.
We could hire a street urchin to sit with Claude.
Send Boom. Have Boom sit with Claude, then Claude gestures, no, go get them. Have Boom run back and get us.
Until Boom sees a squirrel or somebody running around with a nice hat.
He's more reliable than that. Okay, maybe you're right about the hat thing. Squirrel, I believe he could resist, but not a hat.
And by the way, I'm perfectly fine if you wanna put Claude on this.
I like Claude and the urchin thing.
Fit young kid that can run back.
Would do it.
Rotate the crew out, so Claude for a day, Red for a day, and one of the other crew for a day.
Well, I suppose you don't necessarily even have to go out to the site itself. You could just wait out at the edge of town for somebody to head that direction. And you probably see them coming.
And if this was a couple of 100 years later in Europe, the urchin would have a bicycle.
Urchin, urchin, urchin.
You can't not hear it.
Nope.
Well, I think that's what we do.
Street Urchins Union. That's awesome. Captain Button mentions the Street Urchin Union in the chat.
Oh. All right. So the plan at this point is to have Claude handle the observation and signal everyone else when somebody is going out that direction or has reached it or whatever condition you set.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose you could prop up Rogers next to him. He could keep an eye out.
Yeah, just weekend at Bernie's me up there.
Oh, I like this. This meme is pretty good. The drop in petrol prices during the lockdown is like a bald man winning a hairbrush.
Yeah.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay, so if Claude is going to handle the observation or the surveillance, then what will the signal be and how will you receive it?
How bad is it to fire a firearm on the outskirts of town? Or more importantly, but that probably more just alert whoever's going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it has to be a street urchin, and the method of delivery is on foot, and it has to be delivered in the manner of Dr. Johns, Dr. Johns.
Sounds good to me. some kind of similar derivation of that.
All right.
So I guess we probably need to establish a base of operations, as it were. So
That is true.
local hotel or some kind of.
I didn't. We lose somebody?
Looks like we lost Carrie. I thought they were having weather there.
Yeah, looks like we lost him completely. Well, there's not a more appropriate PC to have dropped off.
Oh wow. Okay. Man,
I guess we'll see
stepped
where
away
that
to use
goes.
the bathroom, and you guys chased Carrie off.
I was going to
up with
say, I think with a little care taken, it probably wouldn't be infeasible to move both Rogers and Bold to wherever they might have been staying. If you guys want to do that, but
Prop them up on a
I
yard
will
chair.
organize the some of the crew to do so
but
one at a time. As long as
Abigail,
I'm able to also be there. Who's Abigail?
the widow, she
Is
is
that the first
perfectly.
time you've actually used that name?
Yes, it is. She will allow them to stay. She has no problems letting them stay.
Then
there
I would
whatsoever.
rather they stay there, so they're both easily accessible for him, so he doesn't have to go over to this one place and then over to this other place.
In which case, if you guys needed a headquarters, that might be it.
Word.
So you guys will congregate at the widow's place,
But maintain 6 feet.
And I'm gonna kick them out and make them, talk outside because they're being too loud for my patients.
Well, Davino is, but he's always that way.
So is Sir Randall. Come on, he's played by Mark.
It's true.
All right, well, we're gonna get through this day one way or the other. So, night falls.
Did it trip?
It might have.
Does it require surgery?
It
Yeah,
does
'cause
not.
that's gonna be at some serious penalties.
Sometime right around the time when you guys are starting to drift off to sleep, the kid comes knocking on the door.
Of course.
Says, "Come quick, Dr. Spencer."
What? Huh?
What? Who's Dr. Spencer? There's only a Dr. Jones here.
It's not Dr.
He's
Jones.
Silent.
Yeah. Anyway, you've received the call. What shall
What are
you
we
do?
doing?
You have been alerted to the fact that someone is approaching the spot.
See, this totally works out that I was AFK because Spencer clearly was being absent-minded, not paying a lick of attention to what you guys were doing.
All right. So I will grab my weapon, 2 pistols and a sawad, and make sure everyone else is prepared, including Spencer.
What? Again? We're going to have
Oh.
to do surgery on you as well?
Hopefully not. If luck holds out, no.
How often does luck hold?
As often as it needs to.
It only has to fail once.
Why, if it wasn't for bad luck... Wait, no, that doesn't apply to me because I have serendipity.
All right.
Long story short, you guys gear up, make your way out of town, headed in that direction. You'll be met partway by Claude, who will inform you that there is a man. He is wearing a uniform, and he is digging around that area.
What sort of uniform?
He would call it an English uniform, like an army uniform.
Which is totally going to be the guy that Hayden's
Arrested him?
looking for.
Oh, that would be kind of funny.
Damn, I wish I'd have thought of that.
You shouldn't have said that.
Okay, so how will you approach?
Stealthily, and in a manner that we can cut off his escape into the forest.
Well, let's see how stealthily you can approach him with a suitable roll.
I will have my sword and weapon drawn.
That's
And-
stealth.
And the moonlight will glint off your sword.
Whoops. Then that's a success by 1.
Wait, we're being stealthy? Is it all of us?
I don't know.
It'd be ideal if everybody was stealthy. Because if one person isn't, everyone isn't.
I'm gonna be the isn't. I just know it.
Well, sure ain't me.
Oh, you don't have the stealth skill?
I do not own stealth.
All right, then I am slightly better
Apparently
off
Hayden
than you
doesn't
are.
either.
Sneaking around on ships doesn't really happen.
But I'm being really not stealthy.
Yeah,
Well, at least you
no.
guys are consistent.
Though it's not too bad. With darkness and all that, we can still.
It is dark. It's about a half moon at this point.
What about ambient noise for like breeze and the?
You're at the ocean.
I know. And there's also like.
So as it happens, you guys can get close enough to potentially recognize somebody before he notices your presence. It is a lone man. He is wearing an army uniform, and in the moonlight, you see a glint of the silver gorget of a captain. And as he turns, you recognize the very captain that came and collected all the bad guys and probably sent the guys to fetch Adler.
Interesting.
And as soon as he spots you, he whips out his pistol and demands you stand to.
It's like, I think we have you outnumbered, Captain. And by what right do you have us to call us to stand to when it is when it is you who has to explain himself for this?
Meanwhile, Spencer is looking visibly confused because he wasn't paying attention. He's like, wait, do we know this guy? This man?
It is he who has set upon set the thugs upon Lila and her. Was it her father?
Yeah.
In search of what is buried here.
Oh, well, that was rather rude, sir.
Had her father beaten just to find out this very spot.
That was very rude.
Deny it, sir.
Would he deny it? Let me see. Just how shaken is he? Because he's in a bad spot.
Is he more shaken if I show off my big rifle?
Did you go back?
I'm a little shaken.
I guess you probably didn't take your big rifle back. And he's seen firsthand what that thing does to people. So,
Mm-hmm.
so if you've got that leveled at him, he is
Yeah.
he's unlikely to oppose you directly. I tell you what, I will take a roll from you. Since Randall's doing the speaking here, I'll make him do it. I'm thinking that sounds diplomacy-like.
Maybe intimidate.
It's aggressive.
Possibly
diplomacy, that's all.
intimidate.
Or a diplomacy with Davino's. I don't have intimidate, but anyway, here we go. No. We'll roll it and let you figure out the modifiers from there.
So you challenge him and you dare him to deny it, and he does deny it, but you don't get the weight of veracity to it. He's not really. He's a little stumbly over it. And you also get the feeling he's a little jittery right now too. He's kind of jumping back and forth. You're not sure if it's because you got that huge cannon pointed at him or if there's something else going on. But he's clearly out of sorts at the moment.
He looks uncomfortable. Has he perhaps heard the curse about the black pearls?
Would a body language kind of give me some potential insight?
Well, you could do that. I would say, yeah, that would make sense. Probably going to be a -5 for darkness, though.
I saw.
Or thereabout. You can get some information from it. His stance suggests defensive-ness. That is, when you challenge him, he's throwing the tells of that's not true. Or let me rephrase that. How do you describe this?
it's only partially true, but not the whole story.
That's not true. That's impossible. Search your feelings. You know this to be true.
Let me start over. The body language tells you're getting from him that he's distracted. Like there's something else going on.
That wouldn't happen to be the vampire that's about to eat him, is it?
It could be.
Yes. Yes.
Could it possibly be that, we only have part of the truth and there's something more to this story?
Sir. I just saw Ethan's comment.
A new breathing hole.
That's not going to be a breathing hole, bro.
It will for like a second or two.
He hasn't admitted to having hired the thugs, but he does return with his own accusation saying, I don't know how you did it, but I'm sure it was you folks who broke Adler out of prison.
With a wave of the hand.
Well,
I'm sure we will have met him before. Again. Or something.
It's like, I looked briefly to the others like, yeah, did we?
I'm gonna look suspiciously at Boom, and Boom's gonna shrug.
No, he...
He makes that monkey smile.
Headcanon approved.
Well,
It's ironic. You have the monkey doing that, and it's like in our face-to-face game way back when we were playing D&D, and I was playing a war mage, and I picked up the feat that let me get a monkey familiar, and I was constantly joking with everybody that my familiar's evil. He's actually an evil monkey.
Nice.
Shim shim.
I will definitely look at Davino as like, well, I know nothing of Mr. Adler's escape, but if Master Davino is to be believed, his monkey might have some clue of what occurred.
Are you mocking me?
How do you describe traveling back in time? Wondering how you describe traveling back in time in this thing.
I wonder if they could even process the idea.
Accusing us of such, ridiculousness, it mocks us.
All right. Well, at this point, what would be your goal?
I want to distract him long enough for the werewolf to eat him, and then say thanks, guys, and leave.
Right. I'm really curious what's really going on here.
So you just want him
Black
to spill
pearls and beating old men for the location, or
well, does that need any more explanation? Really?
No, not really. But
that 5,000 pesos is a lot of freaking money.
Like, yeah.
I think our objective was to ensure that he leaves Lila and her dad alone.
That's true. Yep.
What would you do to assure that? Aside from shooting him. Aside from shooting him, because you can't be here forever.
Well,
we could take him along with us. Not him.
We could.
Not him. Them.
Well, yeah. So who's where the black pearls belonged to the old man, right?
Rackham was the lore or myth or whatever.
To clarify, the old man found one.
Found one. Gotcha. So they'd have no immediate, owner.
Which, by the way, Randall being Randall, he has actually heard of that. He is aware of that story about Rackham and the pearls, and Sir Randall knows what it's like to want 5,000 black pearls to wash up on the beach somewhere.
Well,
he's kind of looking at himself here in a way.
Yes, but I don't know if I would go as far as to beat an old man and his daughter and to get at pearls. Well, it seems we are at an impasse. If it is only that you, the instigator of such of this, what is a good term for the shenanigans that have occurred, then I would say that some form of restitution must be paid to Lila and her father. If there surely is the treasure here, as we all expect there to be, what say he to a potential bargain?
Now, you don't actually expect there to be a treasure here. Adler just told him to say that, so...
Oh, gotcha. That's right. Missed that part. Some more. I was like,
But the twist is, the treasure is here.
Straight up.
Yeah, right.
Do the stuff and point him into a completely different direction. It's like, why are you looking here? Surely you know this isn't where it's at. And then dazzle him with your expert treasury notions and send him off into a hideous wild goose chase.
Right, but the other part of that whole coin is how do we keep him from, making life difficult for the old man and his daughter after this? Because I don't know that, I mean, unless he does something really dumb, I don't know if we need to outright just whack him. It would be the easiest course, but that's not what I'm thinking. It's probably the best.
It would not be the gentleman's way of dealing with
exactly.
it.
Having him pay forcing him into some kind of form of restitution, or just a confession would have been the easiest, because then we could have just taken him back.
I know what it would take to change the situation. I'm trying to figure out who would know that I could just come out and say it. But I'll give you one chance to figure that part out on your own and say that the gentleman thing is probably an angle here.
Challenge him to a duel.
What is a bad thing to happen to a gentleman aside from being shot?
His reputation. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is destroying his reputation. In his case, he's a military officer, so being completely disgraced is really gonna.
So, do you bring that up?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're acting.
So you threaten to ruin his reputation, which, as we know, years to build, seconds to ruin. And he is absolutely mortified that you would do that. In fact, all this sneaking about is specifically to avoid that sort of thing. And he will swear to never bother any of them ever again if this secret stays secret.
Okay, how do we ensure that? Let's see.
We need someone to take a sketch of this situation, of everyone in position, and say, we will reveal this sketched photo.
Well, damn. Sounds like
sorry.
Kid Aggro.
Sure, we'll go with that.
You could, those of us that have detect lies.
Oh yeah,
detect lies and see if he's the type to keep his word.
And that's probably at -5 for the crappy lighting.
Well, but if you roll like that, you feel like his language and his bearing suggest that he is the sort to keep that word.
Well then, sounds like you have an accord. Now shall we return to my patients?
Well, is there any kind of restitution that we can get out of him?
Now you're trying to extort him.
No.
Well, you could make the case that he owes them for damages at the very least.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't want any money out of this guy.
And being a captain, he does get paid. So you make the demand.
We're gonna swing back by here later, and he's gonna have married Lila.
That'd be funny, though. he will begrudgingly agree to compensate them.
He's going to have married her, and she's wearing the pants in the family. Although if he's Scottish, that really doesn't say anything because he could be wearing a kilt.
That's true.
Hard.
All right. Well, unless you have other demands of him, he's going to beg his leave and march, or trudge more likely, back to town and leave leave the shovel behind.
We should
All
take
forlorn.
the shovel.
You go grab the shovel.
Hey, grab the shovel. It might be important. I'm going to put it in my inventory.
It taps a little black rock. It taps a little black rock where you pull it out.
Oh, I'm going to pick up the black rock.
It might actually be a pearl.
Huh. I'm going to stick it in my pocket and then show it to Sir Randall after we're back.
It's going to turn into the scene from Indiana Jones where you got all the guys digging at that site where black pearls now.
Well, that depends on who you tell. All right, you return back to town, and
Sir Randall, I
go to
happened
bed.
to find this in there. Any idea what it is?
Oh yeah, that's a black pearl.
Oh,
Does Randall have any sort of appraisal ability? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, he has hidden lore lost treasures. That's probably good enough.
Well,
Sort of a default. Yeah, you guess that's probably worth 200 pesos worth.
Huh.
That might actually be one of them.
How fortuitous that I happened to find it.
luck shines on you, Dr. Spencer.
Yes, well,
You're a natural treasure finder.
just lucky. Serendipitous, one might say. Right. Let's see. What can I do with 200 pesos?
Well, you have to actually sell the pearl first for that.
Let's see. What do I want to do with that? Actually, we'll probably try to find. Oh, yeah, that's it. I have to start building stuff to try to purchase better surgical gear.
That's true. I will actually have Randall. I have everybody do it. Make a perception check.
Whoops, ignore all those modifiers. I definitely wasn't preparing to hit the guy in the face.
It's always good.
Well,
to be
you
prepared.
blew his face off if you had.
You perceptioned him in the face.
Received his
Okay.
face so hard.
You gave him a really dirty look.
You say that was 2 or 3, Daniel?
What?
The
To
black
what?
pearl.
To what?
Worth about 200.
200.
200. Yeah, I was like, which one was it again? I don't remember. Brain cramp.
Yeah, 200. Yeah, on your way back to town, you happen to notice. Looks like everybody did. Mostly Spencer. Secondly, Payne.
Oh crap!
notice,
I should have rolled off of the other one. Noticing stuff while distracted.
Yeah, that's true.
That would still
So
been a
probably
success
Payne
by
first.
1.
Yeah, Payne will notice that there's a schooner anchoring out in the harbor, and you wonder for a moment, might that be the Dame Blanche?
I bet it is. We haven't seen them for a while.
Seems dramatically opportune for them to arrive.
It does.
All right,
I need
Tuesday,
a drink.
6th of February. It rains overnight a little bit, and the winds are really rough. It's a bit noisy overnight, although it eases throughout the day. And let's see. What I would like to do is get an idea of what everybody is going to do for the week, and not necessarily every day here. So Randall has successfully sold the grain. That's out of the way. Hayden's going to make another stab at canvassing, but in general, other than Spencer doing physician throughout the week and Roger's healing, what are you guys going to do with yourselves during the downtime.
Knife pistol.
That probably take you a day to fix that, if that much.
Okay.
It's not
Cool.
that broken. It's just you gotta reset the spring and replace a couple of bits. No big deal.
Cool. I'll fix
And
it.
given
field
that you
test
got all
it,
week,
and
you
buy
can
it.
take your time. But
It's nice to work on something new, so I might break it up over 2 days rather than all in one.
Could he increase the quality?
I think you probably can.
I would like to do so because I
So
do fully
actually
intend to try to buy
accurize
it.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are going to be on that, but you can just, we'll say you're doing that.
I think it. Crap.
Time spent.
I remember
probably is a good
doing that
modifier.
with something, but I can't remember what the rules were. I'm fairly certain you ended up having to spend a bunch of material or money for material.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
It's going to be something like that. It will cost him some money for the materials and stuff, I'm sure. But
That's fine. I'll probably get it working and then demonstrate it to Sir Randall and then try to buy it off of him before making it all finalized.
There you go. That's good thinking, because then you don't have to pay twice for it.
Exactly.
All right, so go. So yeah, Spencer, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out, other than physicianing and studying his book to the point of near obsession and maybe experimenting and such like that with the coincidence capability, I'm not sure what all he's going to be doing in this podunk town. Maybe wandering,
All right,
exploring.
Sir Randall.
I will be spending time with the local magistrate, mayor, and whoever, and the higher officers, making my presence known amongst them. Carousing.
Specifically, their daughters.
The primary reason is to ensure that the captain knows that I know them. So,
right.
To establish that, should he ever do something silly, I go back on whatever he says. I have the word of these folks.
Okay, I can see that. So you're just trying to schmooze with the government.
Yep, and potentially if they have daughter
or wives.
Inevitably. So Hayden can make another IQ roll +7 and hopefully not roll an 18.
You be quiet, Phil.
I won't use the coincidence power on it.
There's some relatively high numbers, though. Okay, so day 2, people actually start talking to you for some reason, and
they were intimidated because he was covered in blood.
You will discover relatively easily that Thomas Friendly did used to live here, and after the Spanish invasion, he moved away to Harbor Island, which you will... What's your area knowledge?
Caribbean.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to know the specific area that well. But, yeah. You don't know the specifics of where Harbor Island is right off the top of your head. But those people that you're talking to do know where it is, and as soon as they start talking to you, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. So, but it is a part of the Eleuthera Island chain, and it's about 50 miles away, really close.
And how long ago did he move there?
That was 4 years ago, ish. And he has a trading house over there. I would guess if you have more time to look into it, then you'll also know that hardly anybody lives there. The entire population of Harbor Island is like 175.
But he runs a trading house?
Yeah, they still do trade.
Trade or smuggling?
Clearly, they're not manufacturing much. Yes, trade or smuggling.
All right. Well, I will note these things.
With a plan toward that being the next destination. Since it's like 50, that's how far away is? How long is that?
Maybe half
Maybe
a
a
day.
day? Yeah.
Maybe half a day, depending on the winds. But yeah, it's a short jaunt.
Is that 50 miles or 50 nautical miles?
Yes. I think I based that on Google Earth, so that's going to be 50 miles, as the crow flies.
So probably about 45 nautical miles.
Ish. So, having established that, what is Haydn going to do with himself for the rest of the week?
Let's see. He will keep Roger's company. So he'll grab some of his books that he has, and he will have a session where he will read.
It actually makes some sense there because he'll be hanging out with Spencer as well, and given that his newfound chronic pain situation, he will be occasionally in need of his help, and probably taking an interest in medical matters more than he used to.
So that's what he will do. He will stay with the injured, help out Spencer, and he'll just try and keep the guys' spirits up.
All right, well, we'll call it that then. So, on Tuesday, early in the morning, Sir Randall is about his business, and he will be approached by a large black man.
Hey, it is them.
Who he recognizes as Bernard, who is one of the main crew officers of one Maurice Boissonade and La Dame Blanche. And he hails you and says that the Capitan would like to do lunch with you at your convenience. Shall I tell him you're coming?
Bernard, we have always been good friends. Oh, sure, I will meet with that scoundrel.
Later in the day, you will meet Maurice at his hotel.
Maurice, you scallywag.
And he will give you the usual pleasantries and introduce his first mate, Ulysse Delacroix, and his purser, Remy LeBlanc, who will be joining you for lunch.
Is Remy really a girl too?
Not that you know of.
That would be funny, though.
And he asks if you have... Well, hold on.
He's just going to come right out, isn't he?
Oh, and as you're introduced to Remy, he won't make physical contact, so he doesn't shake your hand or anything like that. And as you guys are eating, he keeps rearranging his silverware.
Remy or Maurice?
That's Remy.
Hey, you didn't share the Maurice image again.
No,
I did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, it was hidden. That's weird. Oh, you shared him and then you shared the tavern. That's why. Don't
Remy.
do that.
I got him out of order.
Remy is another traveler name.
That is true. We did use the name Remy in Traveler. So at first, Maurice is all about, well, we lost you on the way to Ilavash, and when we got there, it was a mess. And they went up to the house, tried to find the compass up there, and they ended up tearing that chimney apart, trying to get to it. And
then they got attacked by the black guys.
He just happens to have the coin that you left. He does not give it back.
Oh.
And he says, from the sound of it, it looks like they missed you guys by a few hours, because the guys in the rumjack were just pushing off the beach when they got there, and they were very rude.
Oh, you don't know the half of it, Maurice. Be glad that you did not encounter those rapscallions.
He knows at least a quarter of it. He knows at least a quarter of it because there are corpses on the beach. and they
violence.
hadn't been there very long. But yeah, he was.
Randall's thinking I put at least one of them there. Yeah.
He was looking for the compass, and he wondered if you wouldn't happen to have brought it with you.
I take a long drink and assess.
They're gonna rough you up. They're gonna give you noogies until you give it up.
I surely wouldn't carry it on me, a piece of valuable equipment like that. I'm lying. Actually, maybe did I have a plan for that stinking compass?
Yeah, I don't know what you. Did I ever ask you where you were keeping that?
I
It's
think
a little
the
more bulky
merman
than.
took it.
Can't remember if I was gonna give it to Davino to sit on, and they'd have to go through him to get it, kind of thing.
I seem to remember you mentioning something about that, but I don't remember what you actually decided.
Yeah,
I think I remember joking about giving it to Boom instead for him to put in his little hat stash.
Yeah, but we
I don't
never-
think we ever decided.
Well, I figure if I give it to Davino and it disappears, then Boom has it. So
That's true.
I don't know why, but I'm visualizing the Christopher Walken watch scene from Pulp Fiction.
That's gonna be somewhat less comfortable than that one.
The watch.
That's much bigger than a watch.
A compass with no needle.
So, do you have it on you?
No.
All right. Will you show it to him?
Do I feel like I need to have the competition back on? Does it add more to the,
Well, clearly the competition isn't off. On the other hand, if you don't give it to him, he won't have it.
But what information might he have or glean from it that I won't?
Who knows?
Well, I will allow you to see it. If yes, I will allow him to see it, and I won't lie about that. But I do ask that he tell me what he knows. If we compare notes about it before I bring it, have it brought here, or we go see it.
Oh, compare notes. I don't know about that.
Well, I have the compass. You may have information, which I will, a gentleman's honor, allow you to see.
He's just gonna show it to him and then hide it. It's like, what? You didn't say anything about touching it.
Hey, you see with your eyes, man. You see with your eyes, not with your hands.
Perhaps later we can come to some sort of an agreement. I do have a meeting with a local expert on Captain Morgan, who was on the last expedition to find the treasury.
Well then, how about I propose this? I join you in that meeting, and you get to see the compass. I may even let you hold it.
Well. Very well. Agreed.
No treasure hunt. You know how this works, Maurice. No
D'accord.
treasure hunt is worth the seeking without somebody else, without a bit of a chase. And I'd
D'accord.
have.
You may come along.
Oh, good. I wouldn't want.
But that is
So
not
much-
the only reason I am here with you right now. I would like to propose a wager. Unfortunately, we cannot wager for money because whoever wins, well, he will have no need for money. So we have to be more creative. So I propose whomever lays hands on the treasure first will be the winner, and the loser must pen an article for Le Mercure de France declaring publicly that the winner is the superior treasure hunter.
Ooh.
It will be read by all the world. What do you say?
Fortune and hold on. I have a perfect roll for this. I'm just gonna roll it. I know what my answer is gonna be. I just want to see if agrees with me. Dang it! It didn't agree with me. Stupid thing. Yes.
Why would it just be a straight up French thing? Why wouldn't he counter with
Or yeah,
uh,
that's a good point.
pin
Yeah,
one
'cause
for an English one as well.
I say for the French and the English paper.
Oh,
I mean,
but nobody
it's-
reads the London.
Oh,
No one important anyway.
well, then you would
Yeah,
have no.
that's where you should do the
But then,
the
yeah.
sun never sets on the British Empire. So
And that's a good point, which I will bring up. But more importantly, it's like then you have no fear if your name is that if your name is written as the lesser in the English paper, because I will win.
If you say so. Very well, we are agreed.
This is why it's good to have him as a rival enemy, not as an enemy like wants to kill me enemy.
So he will let you know that they will go to see the expert in the evening. And he will tell you where to meet. And then we will fast forward to the evening.
Oh, I will bring Spencer along. It's if he's bringing a few of his people, I'll invite Spencer and Hayden along. He has 2, and I will have 2. Technically, I have 3 because Davino will also come, but unfortunately, unless Maurice brings somebody else into the room, Davino will have to sit outside. Well, actually, he brought what's his name, didn't he?
Well, no,
Bernard.
he brought a couple of guys to lunch, but you don't know who's
The only
bringing
people
to
at the
that
table.
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will invite Spencer, Hayden, and Davino to accompany me. Now, if it's to sit and listen, I will. My number will match his.
So you'll be bringing Spencer along, taking a much-needed break from physicianing. You got Hayden to watch over everybody while you're gone.
Well, I'd prefer Hayden to be at the meeting as well, if allowable, because
I
the
guess
more
that's up to
people, the more people to hear what's going on. Hayden might have insight to what's spoken and whatnot. And if Maurice is going to bring an entourage, I got to bring my entourage.
You meet at the address in the evening, and you see that it is just Maurice and Remy. And he looks at all the people you brought with you and says, "Oh, you brought the whole crew. I do not believe there will be room for all of us."
Oh no, I understand that. It'll just be me and I assume myself, you, Mr. Remy, and Dr. Spencer.
Oh, Remy won't be going with me. But we will take care of our business first, if you brought the compass with you.
All right. I want to make sure that all eyes are on that stinking thing that he's not.
I don't know what you suspect was going to happen.
I am completely not paying attention to it. Wait, where are we? At like a tavern or something?
It's just a boarding house, residence, something, maybe a hotel. It all blends together. So you hand over the compass then?
Yes.
So Maurice takes the compass and looks it over. I should actually show that off. Just nobody's seen that in forever. So Maurice takes the compass and looks it over. Says, "Oh, it's very nice." And he starts to hand it over to Remy, and and
I
then
said you, Sir Maurice. Hey, look. I do not know Mr. Remy.
Remy. Well, when he started to hand it over to Remy before you said anything, Remy recoiled a little bit, and then you stopped it. Oh well, of course. And he holds it out there for Remy to examine, and you see Remy examine it very, very intently, and then he looks up at Maurice and nods, and off he goes.
Oh, he's photographic memory.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yep.
say. I was probably gonna have Spencer say, eidetic memory. Interesting gift."
It is indeed. And he hands the compass back to you and says, "Well, thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Shall we?"
Let's, and I'll hand the compass back to. I'll as as I take it and, just make sure it's the same one briefly.
You're so suspicious.
We're both scallywags, Maurice. You know this.
You guys enter the lobby, and there waiting for you is the Captain Morgan expert.
No.
No!
Does he have a third
It should
hole
be,
in his
should be.
extra hole in his
You
head?
misspelled that. You're missing an S.
It's your imagination. And he says, I would be honored if your friend joins us.
Well,
That's when you fast draw and shoot him in the head again.
Is that a fright
All right.
check?
I'm impulsive. It's definitely a time for my impulsiveness roll. What was the first one? Darn it. I hold myself back from drawing and shooting him again.
Could just punch him in the face.
All right, well, not to drag it out. Are you going to confront him at all?
Mr. Long. Did I know his name?
Well, I think you guys may have known it from Kingston before he left anyway. And I think you recognized him when he showed up. Because he had been around
How's
for a
your
while.
head? Last I saw you were suffering from a splitting headache.
My good sir, I don't know anything what you're talking about.
Eyebrow raise.
You're not entirely sure if he's lying. And you guys
He's
talk
a
about...
merman, Mark.
Are you sure? Last I saw you were taking a lie down on the beach in outside of Ile Vache.
Ile Vache? I assure you, sir, I've never been to Ile Vache. I don't think there's anything there I should care about. Well, I say that. It is very important to Captain Morgan's story. And he will go on and on about all the treasures that are supposedly buried in Ile Vache, and the guy clearly knows his shit. And tell you about the Oxford blowing up, and tell you about all the times that they anchored there.
Keep hitting the wrong thing. Do you perchance have family in traveling within the Caribbean?
No family that I'm aware of.
Well, very well.
Long story short, you learn a few things. At the very least, you learn some things that Maurice does not know.
Presumably.
For example, Maurice was very intent on learning about the riddle that supposedly tells you where to stand. Are you going to play that one close to the vest?
Of course. It's still a race. I just gave him an extra piece to the puzzle. Not the whole
not
solution.
intentionally.
Not intentionally, no.
You will also learn that Maurice has some correspondence and journals and such with other folks that were part of a previous expedition to find the treasury. He doesn't have the same journal you do. I'm going to say he probably already knew about the one you had, though.
Which one? The higher ground safe
I can't remember that.
Higher ground safe and sound, rising sun, second gun?
I can't remember the name of the guy whose journal you had.
Oh, Jeff? No. Let's see. Notes from the notes.
I'm going to remember it and then feel bad for having forgotten. Is that not on your character sheet? I thought it was.
I have the journal.
No, the personal treasure journal. Yeah, I can't remember his name. Anyway, it was some guy that was with Morgan. Yeah. Anyway, because you had been studying that back at Kingston and asking around and that sort of thing, I'm presuming you had that journal for quite a while. In fact, you probably had it before you left England.
Right, because I know we were. Maybe that's what it was. I wrote down journal and then I was doing some date and I wrote over it.
At any rate, so you know that Maurice has some kind of written records regarding the search for the place that he's drawing from that are different from yours, but clearly doesn't also contain that riddle. So he doesn't have that piece of the puzzle yet. But now he has the compass, or so you suspect, unless it actually requires its physical presence.
Maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
It'd be interesting if Remy can have something describe something well enough to have it manufactured.
The mechanism in the chimney at Ilavash was a little unexpected, so there could be something else to it.
And you said, I thought there was something about the compass. There was a notch or something.
Yeah, there's a mark on it, some kind of notch cut on it that doesn't fit in with the basic design.
Now, was it the notch on a compass point? Now that I'm looking at this thing a little more closely.
Yes, well, it's like on the ring.
Note to self: next time I do this with him, I'm going to put 2 notches and just know which one's mine. Oh, there's a notch here. I'm going to put a notch over here.
But yeah, other than a pleasant evening talking about Captain Morgan and his exploits, nothing else happens.
Right? Which is
You
eerie.
can't stop staring at him.
Keep looking at that
I will
spot where there should be a bullet hole.
Yeah, and every time I have those moments of like a flashback moments where I'm talking to him and he's just talking and he's got the like a bullet hole and blood pouring down. It's like I will like ask him very throughout the conversation make comment about or query him about his family or and such, his background, where he's from. That kind of thing.
So you have body language, I believe.
Yes.
I will let you roll that out in the open. Or detect lies, or both.
Yes! Yes! Tell me everything.
He's a zombie.
Not really.
What? The body language is super, super subtle. This guy is good. But what you can pick up on is he knows what you're talking about. But he does not say a word to admit to anything.
That's scary. Because that doesn't, I mean,
He's just got that little bit of a smirk.
It's an angry smirk because you shot him in the head.
Yeah. Which is slightly, which oh man. We're gonna walk out and the ship's gonna be burning, isn't it?
All of the ships are gonna be burning. And I'm gonna be going, it's totally not my fault.
Well, anywho.
Boom didn't do it.
No.
Oh crap. Rogers carries dropped off. Well,
here's
guess
something.
what?
Something
He
that
gets, he doesn't get to make his own rolls.
Something that I will take note of is everything you just said now will be questionable.
Well, that's your prerogative.
Well, unless, you know what I mean is, do I get the feeling that it's actually him come back, or he knows what I'm talking about, but it's still not really the same guy? Holy balls.
Oh,
Wow.
I got 2 rolls, I believe.
Holy
Or
mackerel.
what? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
That's 2 for a day. That critical successes grants 2 health.
Let me see. No, I believe you're right, yeah. And plus he gets a bonus to his rolls to recover at the same time.
Do I need to roll 2 for bold as well, or are they just coming off me?
I'm just going to assume they're both along a similar track.
Right.
Let me process this real quick. So, so actually, where does he need to get to 5? Or halfway. Okay. Calculating. That's going to be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days is going to get him that. 4 days, 5 days. Yeah, 5 or 6. We'll call it 6. So it's actually going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So we have settled that part. All right, and that's basically your events for the 6th. Right. Any last words to add to your current situation?
Nothing immediate with Mr. Long in the room, but as we leave, I will query Maurice. When you were on Elavash, and I'll make it kind of known to him that this is an actual serious question. Did you perchance come across a body who had been struck in the head on the beach?
Oh, there were a number of bodies, and he wouldn't look at them because that's not his thing.
Perchance, would any of your men recall that grisly scene?
Oh, I don't know. I could ask, perhaps.
Drinks are on me if any of your men, if any of your men can recall seeing a body, with a ghastly head wound. And then I'll even point to where the wound would have struck.
Well, you do realize there was a lot of crossfire there. There could have been multiple guys with head wounds, but he does realize that, so...
You could be a little bit more subtle and sort of reach over and point on Hansom's forehead exactly where the bullet hole was. Like maybe there?
Well, no, I would probably bring this
information. They're outside.
Yeah, this would be outside after the fact.
Before you guys separate...
confirming if maybe somebody saw Ned's body on the beach kind of thing. If not, if they can't confirm it, no big deal. But if they can, it's like, oh yeah. Then that gives me something to chew on too. But either way, my curiosity is piqued. And
as you guys separate, Maurice will ask you guys how long you planning to stay here. What's your next step?
Well, it does. I have yet to confer with my Master Hayden, Mr. Hayden, Commander Hayden.
This is still Mr. Hayden.
Mr. Hayden, I believe we were potentially heading to Cuba, and who knows from there. I know we were going to restock, potentially see where we're at. Making a little bit of petty cash along the way, as I assume you probably do too.
Oh, he most certainly is. He's got to go looking for a buyer for some stuff that he's brought. Yeah, I don't think Hayden's actually gotten back to you guys yet about the whole Harbor Island thing. But you guys will congregate later in the evening and can fill each other in, catch each other up.
Phrasing.
All right, so you guys catching each other up?
Yes.
Everybody going to have the same info? All right. What do you plan to do about Harbor Island? You're just going to wait until you're satisfied you're at the halfway point?
Yep.
Okay. And everybody now knows about Handsome Ned.
Yeah. And now, I know Phil just stepped away, but one of the questions that will come up is if Spencer recalls the grievous wound, how would somebody recover so well without any scarring?
I think it's safe to say that Spencer would probably respond to that with "That's impossible."
As I would have expected, but
Oh, by the way, did you tell Bossana not to trust him?
I'm gonna give that to her. Neutral does not help. I would say something on the lines of, this may sound like I'm trying to lead you astray, Maurice, but I'd be leery of what that man says. There's just something not right with him and his full story, particularly about his kin. As my questions, or his interactions, or my possible interactions with him in the past. Remember your boats? Remember the attacks on our boats in.
That's right. His was attacked as well.
If you
Of course, you can't prove that he was involved.
Well, no, I won't say that he was involved, but if you ask around about the personage of a Mr. Or handsome Ned and his description, you would remember that man the gentleman who we just met with.
Well, in typical French jerk fashion, he will start out by feigning great interest and then laugh it off as pure folly.
As I would have expected, it's like. But anyway.
So back to it. You guys catch up in the evening. You're not doing anything else in particular, so we will move on to Wednesday. And other than some cloudy weather in the morning, not much happens on Wednesday. And at this point, you guys have been at port the longest that you have been so far, and it's starting to feel a little weird.
Constantly walking, listing to one side and realizing that, we shouldn't be.
Sometime during the day, I'm assuming that you're going to still have guys rotating back to the ship to keep an eye on it. And they will report that the bilge is taking on a bit more water than it probably should be. Looks like there may be a leak somewhere. And normally you guys have assigned Bold the chief carpenter position.
Well, we're in port. We could probably find a proper carpenter.
That's true. Of course, you have to pay a proper carpenter.
We have to pay Bold.
Yeah, but you're already paying Bold.
Did we pay a proper carpenter? Although, whenever the carpenter is on the ship, the compass will be in my possession.
Indeed. Well, to be fair, you guys are already sort of paying maintenance, so it's included in the maintenance. But yeah, technically, you got to go find a carpenter that'll come in and fix it. So you guys do that. You fix a leak. There is a leak. No big deal. It wasn't an emergency.
We will get the carpenter to also do a once over on the ship, see if there's anything else that needs fixing.
All right. Well, he'll go around and do some other stuff. He's a professional. He does a good job. And Rogers lays on his back some more and feels really bad about it, and drinks a lot of tea, and then regrets it because he has to pee.
A British man, or shoot, I just totally ruined it. But a British.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. No, I can't even get it with it now. I'll have to type it out.
It'd be fine if he didn't have to actually get up out of bed and injure himself to go pee.
For some reason, I just couldn't say it.
It's a hard thing to say.
Apparently.
All right, let's see. It is Thursday, the 8th, and easy weather, and nothing happens at all. You guys are so bored right now. But as you continue to watch, Spencer keeps doing his physician thing, and the guys are mending really well. He must have just hit it just right, because they're not seeming to have any problems, and there's no sign of any sort of infection at all.
I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with Chinese medicine.
Well, you don't know anything about that.
From the time traveler.
Friday, the 9th. Again, with the easy weather. Sorry, 1 second. So, let's see, what was everybody doing today? You know what? Dora was hanging out with Sir Randall, who's been hitting up the government types around here. And he's learning all about the current affairs, local politics around here. And one thing you're going to be learning about is the governor here. Name's George Fenney, and he replaced Woods Rogers in 21, so 4 years ago.
Is that name of historical significance? Because it's familiar.
Which one, Woods Rogers?
George Fenney.
I've never heard of him before. Now, Woodes Rogers is another story. Woodes Rogers is a big deal. But,
Okay.
yeah, he was a customs collector in the southern colonies, council members, yada, yada. He replaced Woodes Rogers without Woodes Rogers' knowledge when he went back to England and then got thrown into debtor's prison. Everybody likes him. His wife is really popular. Not, that kind of popular that I know of.
Say no more.
The only real downside of this guy, as far as you can tell, other than being fairly strict, is some people do kind of fear that his actions might contribute to the return of pirates to the islands. Some have blamed the thuggery from before on this guy. At any rate, you are traveling here and there in the process during the day on Saturday, and Dora happens to be hanging out with you at the time, and she suddenly... It's Friday. Sorry, Friday. And suddenly out of nowhere, she just bolts.
Shoot her in the back.
And you will turn to see her pounce on this old guy and start wrestling him, I guess would be how you would describe that.
Wrestling in a good way or in a bad way? Is it wrestling or wrestling?
He does not look like he's having any fun. And she looks really angry.
So I shouldn't have given her a knife then?
What does Randall do?
Well, I will
sell tickets.
Well, I will break it up because, it's unseemly, but more importantly, here's where it gets fun though. I'll break it up and then yell at the old man for, provoking her.
Nice.
As you separate the two, you see that she has come away with a pocket watch.
I won't mention it. Again, I was, argue with the man about, or, chastise the man for provoking her. And
the old man is horrified at having just been attacked by a strange woman and having his pocket watch stolen from him, and demands to know, what are you going to do about this? I want my watch back.
I saw no watch, good sir.
I bought it fair and square.
Was she obvious about it, or?
Oh, yeah, she's not trying to hide anything.
Oh, okay, she was.
She was very clearly trying to take it from him.
I see. So specifically a watch. It wasn't just her attacking him and coming away with a watch. She was at.
Yes.
Gotcha.
She was trying to get the watch. She was wrestling for it.
It's the Time Lord fob watch. She's actually a Time Lord.
That would be funny, but no.
Well, I guess she'd be a Time Lady.
How would I react to that? Well,
you can't talk to her.
I know. So I have to speak for her.
She can guess.
Yep, I'm going to.
You can make the what the fuck shrug.
No, I'm still wanting to. Yeah, I'm gonna take her side on it. I don't know why, but it's like
because she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, well, there's that. But surely, Jester, you know that this watch is hers. If you had bought it, then you had bought it stolen goods. She is only regaining what was taken from her originally. Isn't that right, Miss Dora? Or Lady Dora?
She just kind of looks at you with an eyebrow raised. The hell are you talking about?
Watch, it's yours, and it was obviously taken from you previous. So, and then sold to this gentleman. You're only reclaiming what property belongs to you, right?
You're pointing at the watch and saying things.
Yeah, pointy talky.
She's kind of developed this quasi sign language, mostly between her and Dr. Spencer, but you've seen enough of it around, and she makes 3 signs: me, ship, captain. And captain is like little Navy salute kind of move that you guys have accepted. That just means whoever's in charge of the ship.
Exactly. Taken by the ship captain that was taken poor Lady Dora against her will, or how it came to your position. I am sorry, sir, but it is her property and she is only retrieved it. I'm sorry for your beating.
I bought it from a pawnbroker here in town. Or actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Back up. I bought it from a pawnbroker in Grand Cayman for 10 shillings. All fair and square.
And I toss him 10 shillings, and then I say, then here's your recompense for the and if you are not bought it straight from the thief himself, then here's restitution. I say, be gone with you, good man.
What? Well, what about the additional mental anguish?
And we turn and walk.
What is the smallest possible, the equivalent of a penny?
Well,
Is that like
there is actually less than a farthing.
It's like
I think you can
give
get a
him
half
less
farthing.
than a farthing for the additional mental anguish, and throw it at his head.
I don't think your mind is worth much more than that.
Is this Grand Canyon Cayman along our probable destination? Probable route?
To shorten things up, eventually you guys are going to converse and you will be informed of all that. Grand Cayman, Hayden will be able to definitely tell you that is back toward Jamaica.
Huh. Well, I guess I could probably try to get a little bit more from her. I don't know how useful. Did that not actually go? Okay.
Well, you can at least question her in her own language, which will get you a little farther. I believe the Grand Caymans are there.
When I come back with Dora and I see Mr. Spencer or Dr. Spencer, I'll be like, Spencer, you owe me 10 shillings for your
sorry.
shenanigans.
That's weird. That's not right.
And if you have questions as to why,
what? Huh?
And if you have questions as to why,
well,
10
conveniently,
shillings.
I found about 10 earlier today out back.
Nope. Yeah. So, how does Payne feeling about all that right now? The way that he keeps finding money laying around.
I'm feeling like I have the best man for a treasure hunt.
Yeah. So she will end up showing you the watch, and it is a fairly pricey silver piece. It has an inscription on the inside.
I will ingratiate myself into this conversation and see what the deal is about the watch.
It's in Dutch.
Darn it.
But the inscription is the name Pierre Heckers. And again, she will sign that this is her captain.
Pierre what?
Pierre Heckers. Yeah, I guess I might as well spell that out. Clearly a Dutch name. Do you have further questions?
I'm in the process of typing up notes. Where was the place that the dude bought it? Someplace in
Grand Cayman.
Said Grand Cayman.
Pawnbroker.
Okay. So how did you know it's a watch? It's not like the guy is like twirling it around. It's generally in his pocket.
Well, Sir Randall didn't actually see what triggered the whole thing, but it's looked like he probably had it in his hand at the time. He might have been checking the time, and then she just happened to spot it. But it is a unique piece. The design on it is probably recognizable.
I know there's something I should be asking. I just don't know what. Well, I think we need to go to this Grand Cayman location and try to find this pawnbroker, see if we can't find some more. Maybe locate your captain.
She looks sad at that and does the neck cut move.
Ah, okay.
Oh dear. I
I'm
understood that.
sorry for your loss.
I wonder how much Dutch you can actually understand speaking English. There are some similarities.
Very little.
I've not actually listened to somebody speaking. Well, that's not true. I have.
I've
No,
got
that
a
was.
Dutch friend.
I'm thinking
It
of
is-
Flemish.
It is very, except for, like English words or French words in English. The occasional word.
Mm-hmm.
It is very different.
Well, I remember watching. What was it? Well, the Dutch, or not the Dutch. The Flemish name for the show was De Band van Janderlicht, and it's on Netflix. Forest Bandits of the Forest or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was. I watched it subtitled in Flemish, and I was surprised at how much of the Flemish actually I could pick up.
I think Portuguese has more similarities with Spanish than with English. If I remember
definitely.
seeing my Portuguese or folks from Brazil talking in online games enough.
Yeah, Portuguese be a whole nother matter.
Yeah, well, let's see. Well, I guess we still like to speak to the pawnbroker to see how he obtained this watch.
Well, the Grand Cayman is not currently on your route, so
That's
that will
unfortunate.
come when you guys replan. Of course, you're only a month and a half in at best of your 6-month planned expedition, so there's plenty more to do.
Yep. Huh.
I will go ahead and give you one piece, even though you didn't actually ask the question, but she will sign an indication that she was captured at Grand Cayman.
Oh, captured by the dudes that are now ghosts.
Yeah,
Taken by the
guys.
ghosts.
The ones that chased her out of the jungle. It seems so long ago. All right, well, that is the 9th. Saturday, the 10th. Yeah, rains a bit overnight. Otherwise, clear, kind of windy. As it's pretty much been the whole time, and nothing at all happens. But as you are physicianing, you are realizing that, they could probably get on with it tomorrow, the next day, thereabout.
I will say the next day, not tomorrow, just to pad the recovery
All right.
slight bit.
So you would say that they should be ready to sail on the 12th.
Yes, that'll be end up being my recommendation. And even then, we're going to want them to have light duties for a little bit while I continue to monitor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they should be good to go. They're about to the point where A, they're able to move, and B, they're so sick of being bedridden that they're going to move whether you allow it or not.
That was weird.
Was it?
Oh, my headset just sort of crapped out briefly, and I don't know why.
Well, I don't either.
Yeah.
Sunday, the 11th. At this point, according to the doctor's orders, you guys can potentially sail tomorrow. Which
By
means
now, I suspect everyone is freaking sick and tired of Nassau because it's so small.
Oh, something else.
It is very small.
Well, we have enough to get us to cute Havana. Well, we can buy supplies and foodstuffs in Havana, even though it's Spain, right?
Yeah, but you
We
want
just
to
can't
do
buy-
it here, I suspect, if possible.
Okay. So,
Well, yeah.
if we knew
you
we
are
were
going to
getting
want to
ready
get
to go-
you are going to want to get your provisions here, and probably not Harbor Island, because Harbor Island ain't going to have diddly squat compared to
Right.
even here.
So,
yeah, you should be able to pick up provisions in Havana, but you'll probably pay out the ass for them if you do.
All right, so we will ensure that we are fully provisioned up.
I think Havana's going to be like a 4 days, maybe ish.
And
4 days.
I think I figured out what I'm going to do with that black pearl is I'm going to leave it with Abigail. And
All right.
because she helped us out when she did not need to. She put us up, and that should most definitely cover
She
her
put you up.
expenses.
She put you up and put up with you.
And helped with the surgery and all that.
She will accept begrudgingly because she's just that kind of person. She would have done it for free.
And that's why I wanted to give her 200 pesos.
Of course, now she's got to pawn that thing off. That could start the whole golden apple again.
Yeah. That's if she bothers with it.
True. She could just give it to somebody else.
Probably will. At least warn her about there's some weirdness going on with that.
She knows all about the whole Jack Rackham crap. And she knows where that came from. She's all like, well, if you guys talked to me before, I would have told you not to say anything. Nobody listens to me.
I wasn't paying attention when he was digging into that, so sorry.
You guys weren't here when all that started anyway. Early in the morning on Sunday, Maurice leaves. So he'd been here for a few days. He'd gone back to talk to Mr. Long a couple of times, clearing up some more stuff. And you guys have done dinner a couple of times, and that's pretty much it.
Were there any other ships in the harbor? That...
Yeah, there's a reasonable amount of traffic. It's not high traffic here, but yeah, it's not unusual for ships to be coming in and out of here. And that's never minding the fishing fleet and whatnot. But you are really close to the Florida Strait, which is the outbound arm of the Gulf Stream, and that is how people get to Europe. So there is a lot of traffic going close by. And incidentally, that's where the Spanish lost their entire treasure fleet that kicked off the last golden age of piracy. So you guys will be picking up provisions. At this point, you probably end up replacing all of them. And I'm going to guess that you are just going to go straight on to Harbor Island on the morrow.
Yes. Sounds like
that is
plan.
So funny. Okay. I am going to take a quick intermission, and I will return.
All right. Taking 5. And we are back.
Yay. All right, well, in case you didn't have it already. So
Song by
New
Dragon.
Zealand group named Dragon. I've never heard of them.
Nope.
I didn't know New Zealand had groups.
They don't
Thought
believe
it was
in
all
music over
hobbits.
there. 12 February. Oh, that's funny. It says 12 and... So, yeah. It's a warm morning. You guys are planning on sailing probably half the day to get to Harbor Island, which is there on the map.
So we're going away from the direction we were going to go. Okay.
You are, yes.
That's
Fortunately,
fine.
it's not very far, but as you can see, there's a bit of a chain of islands leading you over to Eleuthera. And over there at the north side of Eleuthera, you have what is known as the Dragon's Backbone, which is a line of reefs that protect that area. Well, you got to go through them in order to get to the harbor.
Let's not crash on them then.
But it would be ideal not to crash on them. So, first thing we need in the morning is plot a new course. So navigation roll from Hayden, who was typically getting assistance from Rogers and probably still can. It will be at a -3 for the reefs and a +2 for your tools. The distance
Smashed
is
it.
close enough. It is no problem for you at all. And basically you're just following that island chain until you get to the backbone and then hooking it around. Getting through the reefs there at the harbor is probably the hard part. Today, the winds are a little slow, but they seem to be picking up from overnight. And I will, well, if I ask for a weather roll, then everybody's going to know there's something going on. I'll just tell you, it feels like there could be weather coming. You look off to, I think, the southwest, southeast, and there's a bit of cumulonimbus that way.
Damn, he smoked my roll.
Good God! Yeah, Hayden knows it'll hit later today.
Then I
At
will
exactly
probably-
what time?
Is
You'll
it
probably
avoidable?
beat it. You'll beat it to Harbor Island, but you won't want to. It looks like it might be fun enough. You might not want to sail out of it.
Have you been reading GURPS, disasters, hurricanes, and stuff?
I haven't gone back to that. We haven't got to that point yet. Hurricane season's not till June.
Oh, that's right.
But I am
Northern
familiar.
Hemisphere. You people have it all backwards up there.
Sure thing, Mr. Upside Down.
Do your feet get tired holding you to the ground? Like, do they have special shoes?
No,
Or do you just kinda, like,
we are just
walk
that
with-
good.
Right. So, as I said, it's probably going to be about half the day. So, if you guys leave after sunup, you're going to get there 6 or 7, just a bit before sundown. Actually, probably a little earlier than that. It's the winds pick up, and they do pick up. Aside from that, you will note as you guys are getting aboard in the morning that Lila stops Red from leaving immediately and
Oh,
makes sure
how
to say
cute.
goodbye. It's not a big showy thing like Wilhelmina, but clearly something went on.
If it was a big showy thing, then that's just foreshadowing that Red's going to die.
That's true. Also worth
Yes, but we
noting,
noticed it, so that means the camera did at least show it.
you guys did also see a 200-ton Dutch ship leaving. Looked like it headed in the direction of the Florida Strait, probably headed out to Europe or something, maybe Bermuda.
Can its name be the Flying Dutchman?
No, it can't.
It's the Black Pearl.
And aside from that, I am going to make... So we'll take a navigation roll at -3 to get you through the reefs without crashing, and go ahead and have Davino make his lookout roll at -1.
Don't fail.
Oh, don't worry, you know I will.
Davino's the backup.
Well,
Unfortunately, when
failed.
it comes to spotting, if you fail, it's not the end of the world. It's only near the end of the world. So you guys do manage to not embarrass yourselves, not launch yourself onto an obstruction. And you arrive at Harbor Island, which, as I said, nobody bloody lives there. It's known for having pink sand beaches, though.
Ah, cool. Blood.
The coral.
Yeah, some kind of coral thing,
No, it's the blood.
Could be blood.
if you prefer.
Why are you
But I
giving
think
me
it's
that
coral.
look, Red?
You see a number of homes along the area. It's a very small island, and there's not really a town here. But there is a jetty of some kind. I guess that would be your harbor. And there are a few buildings around, one of which could potentially be a merchant house of some kind. So you figure that's probably where you're headed.
Well, that's where Hayden will go.
Make sure to secure against the coming wind.
Yeah, so it is kind of late in the evening, and the wind is definitely picked up. It's really gusty. So the hell do you call it when it's not gusting?
Windy.
The average wind is high, but not that high. But the gusts are pretty ridiculous. So you're definitely going to want to take the sails down and make sure it's nice and secure.
Is there a inlet here at all, like a river inlet?
No, but it is at least partly protected by the dragon's backbone.
That's just a cool name.
It is, isn't it?
It's like that's something you would expect a thing of mountains to be named in a fantasy world.
Where exactly is Harbour Island on the map? Can you draw a line to it?
You're pointing at it.
Gotcha.
I think technically it's that on the map. It's kind of hard to tell. This map isn't exactly accurate.
You're telling me Florida doesn't actually look like that?
But something like that, yeah.
Considering there's no Georgia.
All right. Well, we will drop both anchors if we have them.
Does it have 2 anchors? I guess it does. I think it does.
Are we assuming that we have a large storm that's going to trap us here?
Well, according to Hayden's expert guess, yeah, it's probably going to kick up.
And my knee hurts, so it's gonna storm. Oh wait, that's real life, and I'm seeing lightning flashes outside, so never mind.
And we will also rig up the sea anchor.
I don't know if there is one.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
entirely
throw
sure
bread
how
in
it's
the water.
equipped in that way.
Throw Davino in
But-
the water, and he holds the thing in place.
But fair enough. You're taking whatever precautions you can to make sure you don't lose the ship.
The sea anchor will just keep us into the wind. Nose into the wind. Or the currents, I should say.
Secure all riggings and everything else as if we're going to a major storm.
Right. Well, aside from the wind noise outside, you make your way over to the trading house that you had identified and see that the name on it is as you expected.
This looks familiar. It's
Is she
generic
hot?
even. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is where he met his lady friend.
Is it? Yeah, that's
Yep.
true. I did use that there. Well, this is a very generic-looking place.
I guess
They all look the
generic
same.
is like a franchise.
Indeed.
That's
Built
actually
by-
pretty funny.
Barbados,
Actually, a pretty
so-
funny, pretty funny name for a franchise. The generic franchise.
Wouldn't it be?
Acme Builders. Or it's not IKEA house. Comes in a kit.
You knock on the door, and you are greeted by a fellow.
Assassin.
Oh God, she's gonna start clucking like a chicken.
Right, what do you want?
Thomas.
Yeah, my name's Thomas.
Call me Chicken Thomas.
Who are you?
My name is John Hayden.
Well, I meant to know that name.
Would there be any reason he knows it?
Nope.
Why was he trying to find this guy?
Yeah, we should probably brush up on that. So, your baby mama, Catherine Sumner, aka Cat, sent you a letter saying that you had a son and that he was on the cardinal virtue that got, well, something happened to it. And she wanted you to bring him back home, or at least just find him and make sure he's alive. In that letter, she mentioned that he had a best friend named Thomas Friendly who lived in Nassau.
I'm guessing that you may not know my name, but you would have heard of Matthew, a friend of yours, served on board the Cardinal Virtue.
Yeah, I know Matt. As thick as thieves we were. Well, thieves anyway. We stole everything.
Any chance you know where his whereabouts might be?
I don't know. Hard to say. It's all over the place. Sailor, that one. I couldn't join the Navy. Had a bum knee.
I'm trying to find him, for you see, he is my son.
Oh, son. I think I remember him mentioning his father. I know his mom. Hair the color of carrots. Always made me hungry. Damn it. Now I want carrots. We got any carrots, love? No! Love my life, that one.
Is his wife around, or is she like in a back room?
Like in a back room or something.
You need to cast her as Miracle Max's wife.
I've already used the Miracle Max once. By the way, Hayden knows that Catherine's hair is not the color of carrots at all. It is very blonde.
He says, well, that is odd, because his mother's hair was blonde.
Said, good answer. Can't be too careful. A lot of unsavory characters about it, if you know what I mean.
Hayden will just nod.
Everybody go in.
So Hayden will say, so would you know where I might be able to find Matthew? It is quite urgent.
I'm guessing everybody went inside.
I don't want to be out in the rain.
Well, it's not raining. It's just really windy.
I don't want to be out in the wind. I have to spend these
so,
shillings I found.
So you need to secure that monkey over there. I hate monkeys. Dirty little thieving creatures. Like children.
Oh, he's gonna do the bear's teeth at the guy. Boom, not Davino.
Right, Matt. Right, so the war was already over when the Spaniards invaded Nassau. You know how that goes. So they captured the Virtue and took all the captives back to Havana, and then they turned them right back around and sent them back to Jamaica, but not Matthew. I checked, see? Looked all over the place for years. One day I get this letter from Matt, but it was a bunch of gibberish about his dog and flowers and ducks, stuff like that. It's a code we used when we were kids. Code said he was on the run, hiding out, fearing for his life. Wouldn't say where or why, not even to me.
Great. Your kid is River. He's not all there in the head.
This doesn't leave me with a feeling of serenity.
I see what you did there.
So,
his son is a ship.
That would be funny. So, he's on the run, hiding out.
I made a detect lies and body language to see if I actually buy this dude as not being completely BS.
Oh, he's definitely not telling you everything.
I'll take Thomas aside, just sort of out of earshot of everyone else. And Hayden will say, I really need to find him soon. I am not long for this world, and I would like to see my son before my time is up.
I see what you mean. Well, I know this guy in Old Providence might be able to help you. Murphy's his name. Henry Murphy. Bastard owes me money. 150 guineas. You go there and you tell him I'll let him off if he tells you about the Virtue. Here, I'll write you a note. Don't touch those. It's all right, they're cheap. Damn monkeys.
That's a very nice hat Thomas has there. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to it.
Well, apparently this guy has really good surgical instruments in a box. You're not sure if he...
Yeah.
The box is off in a corner somewhere, and you're not sure it's been opened in a while.
I wonder how many shillings they want for this.
How much are good surgical instruments?
I don't know.
Probably pretty expensive. Let's see. Well, I
Yeah,
might
I
have to
can-
get
hold on,
back
I
to
can
you on that.
Let me see. Actually, it had just occurred to me. I'm like, oh my god, I can actually do that.
Well, now to be fair, you could always use company funds for that too, and
Yeah, well,
probably justify it.
that's definitely possibility. Where the hell is? I don't see fine. Good.
It's probably using the standard equipment modifier thing. So I think fine or good, whichever the next step up is, like 5x.
That's going to be 1,500 GURPS.
Yeah, okay. Which is 15 pounds. So quite a bit. Shame you didn't still have 200 pesos.
I don't feel bad about that. She
No,
helped
but
us out.
you would have been guaranteed to be able to get them, now that I think about it.
Ooh, I have a logistics planning point.
That's true.
Hayden
I think I will use a logistics planning point.
Hayden will ask if there's anywhere we can sit down and have a few drinks. Hayden would like to learn about his son.
And with the storm kicking up, it's not like looks like we're gonna
Not like you're
be
going
leaving
anywhere.
anytime. Yeah.
And it seems there's a storm coming, so we can't go anywhere anyway. Perhaps you can tell me a little bit about Matthew.
I will also be looking for accommodations to ride out the storm.
He will make a
Riding the
recommendation.
storm out.
There's not exactly a hotel here, so you're basically just staying with whoever's got beds, but they could probably put somebody up over there, so you guys can make some arrangements. He'll say, yeah, we could talk about Matt.
If he doesn't have rum, then we'll bring some from the ship.
Yeah, you're right, Daniel. Good is 5x. Fine is 20x.
I like being right sometimes. All right, so you're going to try to make a purchase there?
I am.
All right, and you were
With
using a
logistics planning point. Yeah.
point, so how is that going to work? That really ought to be worth
Had
like
some
a specific amount.
money set aside for that sort of thing, and it's like see those and go, ooh, these are in very, very good shape.
That's true. I guess you could have had some of that money set aside out of the original that wasn't on the regular books.
I guess you could work it out like the logistics planning point gives you an automatic good reaction for determining price, and then any further merchant roll will change that from good to very good.
Yeah, I have to think about that later. In the meantime, you will definitely be able to make a purchase there, and you can haggle over the price, try to lower it. But eventually, yeah, you will be able to upgrade your tools.
Ooh, pretty lightning.
Kerry must have lost power or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's not getting hit by the same system.
He actually mentioned that he's going to duck out a bit early. I remember seeing it in chat. I just don't know.
Did he?
He said, speaking of which, I'm going to cut out early. Good luck. And then, yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah, because I see his wife on her, because Mel is showing online on Steam, and he's showing away.
I totally missed that. Well, that was a good time to duck out, I guess. All right, well, Hayden will stay behind, share some booze with Mr. Friendly, and learn some things about his son. This guy, basically, they grew up together back in England, and he's about 8 years older, so he's more like a older brother kind of thing. That is, Thomas is older than Matt. But they did hang out a lot. They did get into trouble a lot. Thomas may or may not have had a thing for his mother.
Stacy's mom.
I always liked his mom. If you know what I mean. I'm a ladies' man.
She's
clearly Hayden had a thing for his son's mom at least once.
Yeah, as it turns out, it would be. I think I figured it as Hayden is probably 20 when that happened. So Matt would be around 24 at this point.
Because Hayden's 44, so.
Mm-hmm. And so like you said, Matt wanted to join the Navy, become a sailor. Thomas would have gone with him, but he had some health issues at the time and they wouldn't take him. So rather than stay behind in England, Thomas moved to Nassau to be in the general area so, they could still hang out. And they did at the time. But after the war, they got captured. He never saw him again.
And Murphy, how is that Murphy may know something about his whereabouts? How does Murphy fit into the picture?
He's just a guy I know.
And what's his relationship to Matt?
He sailed on the Virtue.
At the end of the night, before we retire, Hayden will ask, is there a letter, a message or anything that you would like me to pass on to Matthew, should I find him?
You could tell him I found your father.
Hayden will grin and say, yeah, I'll tell him that.
But I'm keeping your mum.
He'll just laugh that off, but he's not quite sure whether he's being serious or joking.
You haven't actually met
the
them.
So it'll be a laugh, grin, and then it'll be like a serious look like, are you just joking? Or is this real?
Who's that woman back there?
In the meantime, after he's pointed out the place where you guys can potentially stay, the rest of you sort of head out that direction. Dora's with you. Rogers is with you. Actually, maybe the rest of the crew there too, because they're probably not going to want to stay on the ship with it rocking.
The true sailors are like, yeah, this is awesome.
So you guys are go across, start talking to the homeowner over there, and figuring out the arrangements. Probably going to end up sleeping in a barn or something like that, which I know is going to excite Sir Randall a lot. And through the howl of the wind, you do briefly hear a sound coming from the interior of the island. Sounded like a bosun's whistle that suddenly got cut off.
What an odd sound.
I'm hearing things, Dr. Spencer. That sounds like a bosun's
crap.
whistle cut.
I forgot. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Curious.
Oof. Right. Yeah, but I have it at Quark level, so it's like, I'm interested, but
it's appropriate.
I gotta check it.
Yeah, and if Sir Randall goes, I have to follow him.
Okay. What you see is Dora. You realize that was her whistle.
All right. There's her whistle.
Oh.
And it was cut off because she's apparently being hauled off over the shoulder of that guy. And he
have we
disappears.
seen that guy before?
No, you have not.
Hey!
And he disappears into the brush.
How quickly does he
going
disappear?
to the other side of the island? Like, he's far enough away that, like, you just see him. You see her ass in the air, and then he kind of looks back over his shoulder, and zip, he's off into the brush.
Mr.
And
Scarab,
we probably don't even think about calling for help as we're like just chasing after the dude.
Wait, what? Yep. Cut to black. Roll credits. Cue the music.
The last thing you say has to be, "Oi, so something. No swiping."
Wait a minute. What was his
your
name?
Woman.
That
Scarab.
I gotta see that name again.
I forgot to actually not identify him though. I meant to. He's. You don't know that name.
Hold on. It's on.
Are you talking about Swiper?
It says stranger now.
It was.
Yeah. Ignore that. You don't know that name.
Hey, stranger,
it
no
was not
swiping.
Nichols the Hound Scarab. It was
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, Nichols the Hound. I was like, I know it was the Hound.
I say.
I just hope he doesn't have a mountain nearby.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
well then you can call out, hey you,
Sir Randall and
swiper,
Dr.
no
Spencers
swiping.
are charging madly like crazy people into terrible danger.
That
And then it'll be
is
like,
the,
oh yeah, we should have called for assistance.
Well, I'm
That-
also impulsive, so
yeah. Well, no doubt you guys are going to go
And a
charging
daredevil.
off. But that
That's
is
just
the
what I
end
do.
of the end of this season.
They
So
Hope you're ready, Ethan.
They nabbed our mystery girl. Can't do that until we figure out the mystery.
get 1 character point for everybody.
Woot.
I think I am also going to give everybody 1 Benny.
Double woot.
Probably fewer than you deserve. But and I'm looking for this stupid. Where did I put that? There it is. Let's see. Davino gets
stranger, not
1.
swiping.
I don't get the reference.
Dora the Explorer.
Oh, well,
She's
that's
always-
why I don't get the. That's why I don't
You-
get the. Whoa!
You
that
haven't
was
had
nice
to keep
flashy,
kids enough to remember that.
Nice flashy lightning.
Swiper, no swipe.
All right. So, this being the end of this series, my expectation at this point is that I probably would end up picking this up in a year, possibly sooner, depending, because frankly, our lineup right now is not very materialized.
Yeah, because we have no idea how long Ethan's gonna run.
Yeah.
Ethan could like run 4 sessions and say, "Yeah, that's it. Screw you guys."
And Brian's running out of Shadowrun missions.
We could relocate
No,
to New
there's
York.
plenty actually. That's
Well, unless he switched over to another
Yeah.
series. But yeah, my expectation is that long-ish, and I will probably run this again next time. Hopefully, slightly better prepared for the latter half.
All right, well, I
So
enjoyed
any
it.
business to take care of before we part?
I am definitely going to increase my coincidence because I prefer to have it at 13 as opposed to 12.
I think Brian's probably right about the whole plot point. I think that's probably how I should work it is
Yeah.
since you use coincidence to make it available and use the plot point to do something with the merchant roll or change the price. So you would end up spending some money, but less than the full amount.
Right. Well, keep that in mind because I'm probably going to have to do that in the future again.
Yeah, but that's definitely a legitimate use of company funds, I would say. Especially
Just
given that you just had to use that stuff.
Yeah. Well, just for you to be aware of, my probable next psionic purchase is going to be the True Sight.
Right.
That's a ways away. That's 14 points away.
Is it? Yeah.
At least 14.
Yeah, you won't be buying that soon.
Cool.
All right. Anybody else?
I'll probably just hold on to it for now.
All right. You've at least got that. You've got the knife gun fixed at this point, I'm going to presume. And did you actually buy it from Sir Randall?
I definitely would have attempted to.
Is Sir Randall going to sell it?
I'm torn because I know Mr. Davino is, a collector of firearms and all, and he's likely to murderate me for it in my sleep like he did the big gun. So
No, it'll be the monkey that kills you.
Oh, that's true. And Davino to benefit from it.
No, it won't be that the monkey kills you. What'll happen is you're going to need it desperately at one point, and you're going to reach for it, and it's not going to be there because the monkey has it.
Yeah, because the monkey knows.
I would
Davino
never
wants it.
condone such activity.
Yeah, I'd sell it. I mean, my only thought is that would be kind of a neat, backup weapon kind of thing. But no.
Well, it's not like you can't ever use it.
Right.
It's still on the same ship.
Right, but I'm assuming Davino is going to carry it.
Yeah.
Maintain it as an equipped item.
Well, maybe you get him to make you one.
I was
That-
about to suggest that. Theoretically, I could.
Well, that's true. If
I mean, now that he has one in front of him, he has a pattern to work from.
so, how about that? That's the deal. You can most definitely have this one, and payment for it over time is the completion of a new one for me.
Sure.
All right. Hayden, do you have anything?
Nope.
Didn't figure. All right. So you guys have added one more stop. Actually, while we're still here, I'll show you where that is. Old Providence is off the coast of Nicaragua, and it is
Put pins in there on all of
down there.
all the places that are
I'm gonna
probable
clean.
stops.
I'm gonna clean this up later. I just wanted to show you that now, so you'd be aware of it. So that's Old Providence is down there near Nicaragua, and then the Grand Cayman is up here. So those are your new stops that you have.
Yeah, and I got the one something or other. Curacao.
Oh, Curacao.
Curacao,
yeah.
whatever, that I need to go to.
Which is over there at the circle.
Yep. That's my circle. It's blue. Awesome.
So I'm figuring either before, well, actually, technically, you could stop here and refactor your journey to include the new stops, or you could just wait till you get to Campeche and restart it from there. However you want to handle that. But at some point in that process, we'll have to figure out where they fit in the chain of events. All right. Well, with that, I guess that's everything.
Now you got to do your
Parting is
closing
so
thing.
sweet sorrow.
I'm getting there. I had to scroll up. If you're watching this and you have questions, corrections, suggestions, or general hecklings, feel free to leave a comment here or find us on Discord. Thank you for watching all of this for so long. Olympus out.
Good night, stream.
Bye.
I would like to lodge a complaint.